I am Miss V, crime reporter, website promoter. If you are interested in showcasing your website, hit me up in my DM on IG and we can discuss all the details of showcasing your business, doing a commercial, and running it on my show for a couple of months, as well as promoting you on other social media sites. If this sounds like something that you would be interested in, DM me right now and type in the comments, I am interested. And let's talk. Let's talk about your business. Let's showcase your business. Exclusive new products that you will only see on my website at www.sayitwithchess.com. These products are made special by my mother, Keyline Designs. The hoodie blankie, the face mask, as well as the 4-in-1 African head wrap. Now the way it works, it is a reversible bonnet. It has a headband that you can wear alone. It has a matching face mask as well. Please be sure to go over to our website and check out these nice new products that you will not find anywhere else. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Make this go viral. I appreciate you guys being here. Who do we have in the building? Hold on, it look like I'm frozen here. Okay, I think y'all heard me though. What's going on, you new? Thank you for putting that in the chat. You new first in the building as always. Buddha, thank you for coming through. How are you? Yeah. Hey, CC Orleans, welcome. Welcome to the live. Thank you for coming. Please hit the thumbs up and let your light shine by sharing and blessing the channel. That's what's up. What's going on, Buddha? Charlene, how are you? Thank you guys for coming to hang out with me for a little bit. Peace and blessings, Pride Bentley. How are you? Let me turn this air down a little bit. So yes, thank you to Verns for shouting out my channel. I see a couple of Booskies are in here from the Booski compound. Thank you guys. So what we're talking about today, and a lot of you may not know, I'm not sure who all follows crime here, but there's a missing little girl named Summer Wells, and I want to talk about her. I'm going to pull up something so you'll know what we're talking about. She went missing. Man, it's been over a month now. I don't know the exact date, but I'm going to pull it up here. Hey, what's up, Chris Thorns? Thank you for coming through. Yes, I'm just like waking up to y'all. My eyes looking sleepy. Hold on, guys. Okay, guys, I am headed into the post office to see what I got in my P.O. box. What could it be? What could it be? It is my handy dandy make this go viral tumbler. cute. Make this go viral. Make this go viral.
Thank you, Chris. Dang, I didn't even know that. That's the downside to hitting the darn mute. So anyway, I was just thanking everybody for coming through. I'm Maddie and Jaden. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for letting me know I didn't have any audio. We don't need that. So what I was saying is that I've put up a video so everybody will know who Summer Wells is. She's been missing now for like a couple months. And so I put up a clip so you guys can know what we're talking about.
We continue our coverage on the search for 5-year-old Summer Wells. It has been exactly 1 month since she was last seen at her home in Hawkins County in East Tennessee. News Channel 5's Cole Johnson joins us live at the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation headquarters where work is ongoing. Cole, there's really been an enormous and exhaustive search to find this little girl.
Good morning to you both. The Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson says just between his patrol division and school resource officers, they've accumulated 3,200 hours. Remember, that's not even everyone involved in the search for Summer. The sheriff says it's a financial burden for the agency. And we want to give you some background on this case because it has been a few weeks now. Summer's family said on June 15th, Summer told them she was going inside their house after playing outside and hasn't been seen since. The Amber Alert was issued the following day. Massive amounts of tips have come in throughout the search. To date, the TBI says there have been 935. The sheriff says officers are searching on top of normal operations, mentioning this search is taking a mental, physical, and emotional toll on the department, with many officers having small kids and grandchildren. While the search for Summer continues, there's also a continued search for a potential witness, possibly driving a late 90s, early 2000 red or maroon Toyota Tacoma that was in the area when she disappeared. Right now, the sheriff says nothing is ruled out.
Right now, everything is still on the table. We're still trying to find out what happened to Summer. So everybody's still a person of interest. Still looking at help from the landowners too to go back and check their trail cameras, their security cameras every day, especially around the time that she disappeared.
Now, if you have any information on this case or that potential witness, call 1-800-TBI-FIND. Reporting live for News Channel 5, I'm Cole Johnson.
Okay, so that's the little girl we're talking about. So her dad has been doing a lot of talking, and he recently made a phone call to a guy named Chris McDonough, and he has a channel called The Interview Room. So he's talked to both the mother and the father of this little girl, Summer Moon Utah Wells, and they've said a whole lot, like a lot of contradictions. It's a lot of information, a lot of people turning on each other. I'm seeing that some people are defending the family, particularly the father, and it's all shady to me. So what makes it the shadiest to me is that they already had a missing child. Well, not a child. Her name was Rose. She was the sister of the mother Candace, whose daughter is now missing. And I just think that that's really odd to have two people go missing from the same family. Bella said this sounds like Kaylee Anthony case. If you don't want children, how about birth control? Don't abuse them and kill them. Children did not ask to be here. Oh yeah, Chris. I see a few people that has an issue with the interview room and how they're going about things because he's recording the conversations and putting them online. And hey, Verns, thank you for coming through. And Chris, it's okay if you can't stay. Just hit the thumbs up and share if you had a capability. And Verns, thank you for sending the Booski compound to show me some love. I really appreciate you, Verns. Yeah, so it's also people in groups that are kind of divided. And I mean, to me, they're doing a whole lot of talking. They're like sitting right next to each other, contradicting each other, you know. And I have some videos early on from that. But let's see. They've had so many search and rescue people out looking for Summer. Last thing I remember them saying it was like 109 agencies out there looking for her. So many, they didn't want people to volunteer at first. They only wanted professionals. But people, thank you. People already, you know, now that they've scaled back, I do believe they have other people helping now. Nonprofit joined the search for Summer about 2 weeks ago. And about a month ago, they had a prayer circle. I'm going to play this video.
Members of Help Power America. Visit union.org/Labor Day to nominate yourself.
And I'm hoping y'all can hear the video once I play it, because I am going to play Chris McDonough from the interview room. I'm going to play the video that he played yesterday. It was really like it was a video that he had already put out there, but he actually had a statement analysis guy who broke down what he heard him say. And a lot of the stuff is, I mean, I felt the same way. I did fall asleep on it, so I didn't get to see it all. So I wanna play that.
Tonight marks 3 weeks since 5-year-old Summer Wells disappeared from her home in the Beech Creek community of Hawkins County.
As of today, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation said they received about 840 tips, and none of them have led to the little girl. The last on-camera update from investigators was back on June 24th. Just a few days later, on the 27th, the TBI announced the search officially had been scaled back.
Another news conference is not expected unless there's a significant development in the case, but today a TBI spokesperson said, quote, "Our investigation into the circumstances leading to Summer's disappearance remains active and ongoing."
News Channel 11's Ansley Daniels in our Kingsport newsroom. Ansley, this afternoon you attended a community prayer circle for Summer at nearby Borden Park, right?
Josh and Sarah, Summer Wells has touched the lives of many here in the Tri-Cities and well beyond our region, especially after she went missing. But today, one man here in Kingsport held a prayer circle where Summer's family actually were the only ones in attendance, as well as a family friend. Although they didn't want to go on camera, they tell us events like this and this community support is what is getting them through.
I'm praying that she be home safe in the name of Jesus, Father God, Lord. God put this on my heart to bring the community together and pray as a team. I know people on Facebook been praying too, but I just don't feel that's enough.
In the 3 weeks since she disappeared, people from all over have prayed for 5-year-old Summer Wells to be brought home safe.
We all should come together because it says in the Bible, in Matthew 18:20, Jesus said himself that where 2 or 3 gather in his name, there he is also.
Timmy Etherton organized Tuesday's prayer group in Kingsport. Those in attendance with him, Summer's mother, grandmother, 2 of her older brothers, and family friend David Dodson.
The family, they need that support. A lot of negativity has been said, and it affects the mother, the father, and the children. And we just want to focus on getting Summer back, and that's the main thing.
Summer's family did not want to speak on camera, but said they are thankful for all of the prayers and support.
I'm speaking with Candace and Dawn, and the boys, obviously, they just want Summer back, and they just want her safe return back, and they are just, just keep on praying.
After 21 days, a scaled-back search and no new information. Faith is what's getting them through.
Our faith in Christ is strong, and we just won't give up hope until she's found.
Timmy tells me that he does expect to have another prayer circle next week, especially after he hosted this one on Facebook Live with several people out of state and wanting a little bit more of a heads up before he has another one. He says he's also going to be asking several churches to join in as well. Josh?
Ansley Daniel, live in our Kingsport newsroom downtown tonight. Ansley, thank you. Meanwhile, Incident Commander Tim Coop said the reward fund for Summer is now at more than $37,000. Investigators, we believe, are still looking for the driver of a red Toyota Tacoma pickup truck with a full bed ladder rack that was in the area around the time Summer disappeared. The TBI continued to stress that the driver was a potential witness, not a suspect. You can submit tip information at 1-800-TBI-FIND. You can also email a tip to the TBI. The email address is tipstotbi@tn.gov.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get to the video that I came to play. Hopefully you guys can hear it. I hope you can hear it. It sounded a little bit better than the one that he posted the other day. Sounds like it might have some enhancement on it. So we're gonna get to that. Give me a second. I gotta pull it up.
Omari Nicholson, this is for you. In the arms of the angel, fly away from here, from this dark cold hotel room, and the endlessness you feel. You are pulled from the wreckage of your silence revealed. You're in the arms of the angel. May you find some comfort here. Rest in heaven, Amari. We all love you. If you would like to get in touch with me about anything, please contact me. Follow me on my IG page, which is Make This Go Viral TV Business and Networking page, Miss V of MTGV TV. If you want to hit me up about anything, we can discuss it here. If you need my help with any type of app, if you want to display your business, if you just want to if you want to link up with me on a live, anything concerning YouTube, business, anything, hit me up here, guys. Hit me up here. Follow me on IG, and I'll follow you back.
All right, you guys, I have it put up. You know, don't nobody call you until you go live, right? My phone rang soon as I went to go look for the darn video. Hey, Crafty Crafters Place, how are you? Welcome. Angie Pooh, how are you? Thank you for coming through. Okay. Let's see.
And that means everyone is innocent until proven guilty by a court of law and a jury of their peers. And that's why Lady Justice wears a blindfold and she has scales. Okay, that means she balances everything out. The court system balances out. Okay.
So, from my understanding, before anybody says anything, the interview room actually gives people permission to play his video. It says this video is protected under copyright law and violators will be prosecuted. Do not remove the tier marks and please make sure you credit and link the source. No live streams are authorized on other platforms outside of YouTube. Thank you for understanding. So as long as you put whose video it is, you put his stuff, he's cool with it, is what the understanding that I have. Based off of what he typed there. So that's pretty cool. Now the guy that he has on here talking, okay, so his name is Steve Johnson. He's a forensic statement analysis. And so Summer Wells has been missing since June 15th. I didn't remember the date. I'm going to let it play and I'm going to drive.
Everything that we're going to discuss here tonight.
So this is what they look like. You'll need to see that.
Steve, relate his concept and his opinions as a professional forensic statement analyst. You can see the link in about him in the description below. And one other thing I just want to talk about before we get rolling here, regarding bashing in the chat. Here's good news for all of you. If you have a desire to do that, I've set up a Discord channel over in Discord, and it's titled Trolls. Okay? So feel free to weigh in over there as much as your heart desires.
Everybody got trolls. Gotta love them, right?
And have a good time. If you're here just to bash someone else, okay, you'll be removed immediately because this is a very fluid investigation for a 5-year-old missing little girl. Okay, and so our mods have.
Can y'all hear it? Okay.
Best, in my opinion,
is it too
YouTube,
loud?
And they have been, directed. If you can't keep it classy, have a great day. Now, different opinions, though.
And of course, I'm gonna give my feedback. So what he's gonna do once he gets into it, Steve is going to tell him when to stop. And when he stops, I'm going to say what I feel, and then I'm going to let Steve say what he feels. Yes, we can hear it. Okay. Thank you.
in my opinion, are good for all of us. Okay? It's okay to have a different opinion. Okay? But hate is not productive in any way, shape, or form in helping little Summer and, quite frankly, her family. Okay? So, with that said, let's take a seat and let's have a civil discussion tonight about this little girl. So, something I want to introduce my dear friend and a very well respected, not only nationally but internationally. He's a forensic statement analyst. He's also a forensic handwriting analyst, and he's done and worn many hats in a well close to 30-year career in law enforcement. Now he trains law enforcement around the world in statement analysis as well as handwriting analysis. He also trains corporate America, as big corporations up the UPS or the Fortune 500 groups. I can't say enough about Steve Johnson. I not only call him a friend, I call him a colleague that I trust and respect, and that active law enforcement trust and respect. And if they had a statement, they would call Steve and say, "Steve, tell me what you think." So that said, Steve, welcome this evening.
Thank you, Chris. I really appreciate that. It's quite an honor to get an intro like that from you. I feel the same thing about you. Just a guy that's so very, very well respected in the community. Trying to do the right thing. That's what we're all trying to do, is do the right thing. So I appreciate that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So Coop is actually in Texas training the PDs down there at a conference, and so we want to excuse him. And Dean is also out doing a couple other things. So you have to remember these guys are very, very busy. So I was lucky to grab Steve tonight and see if he could weigh in. So that said, Steve, as we've done in the past, what we'll do is we'll do a push play. Does that sound okay with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so as I set this up, I just want to let the audience know we're going to go for about an hour because this is a very long interview. And of course, you're going to see nuances that you're probably going to, have me stop a bunch of times. But simultaneously, I want to give you the time to really, do what you do best. And then if we have to have a part two, are you available anytime next week, maybe?
Yeah, you bet. Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. If we need to do a part two, let's do it early next week sometime.
Okay, awesome. So I'm going to set this up here, and while we're doing that, tell everybody a little bit about what your thought process is just before we even start here tonight.
Well, as we go into this, my thought process is, as I go into any statement, is the same. It's that I am going to, I don't have a dog in this fight. My goal is to bring justice to the table. To number one, if it's possible, to find Summer, and number two, to bring those who are guilty to justice. And so that's the end goal. And tonight we're going to be dissecting Don Wells, Summer's dad's statement that he gave to Chris. And anytime anyone talks, they're going to let us know just a polemic.
It might not sound as clear when Don starts talking, but hopefully y'all can hear it. If not, just let me know. I can't do much about it, but repeat what he's saying. But I'm like I said, he's gonna pause after every. He's gonna pause every time Steve tell him to, and then I'll give my input.
Of information, Don has information in his brain, and we want to know what it is. And when anyone talks, they're going to give away information that they did not intend to reveal. And that's the beauty of understanding how to break down a statement, understanding the linguistic behaviors. And once you know the principles, it actually brings a statement into a whole new light. It sheds so much information on the words that they're using. So as we go into this, I'm actually going to believe what Don tells me. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm naive and that I'm just going to give him carte blanche and believe everything he says, but I'm going to believe what his brain is telling me. And his brain is going to reveal information to us, and if there's deception, then I'm gonna believe it. If there's information that Don's revealing that he doesn't know, I'm gonna point that out, and some of it's gonna just create more questions for us. But that's where we want to go. Any good investigation has a lot of good quality questions, and so we're just gonna see what Don reveals, and it's like I said, I'm not gonna judge Don. I'm just gonna call out what his brain is revealing, and it's just that simple. It's not I'm not giving my judgment or anything. It's just, this is what it is. And if there's a question, I'll just leave it as that it's a question that we have. And we'll see if the statement, what he says later on, might answer that, and what it often does. And if not, we leave it as a question. It's a follow-up question for the investigators.
Hold on, yeah, I'm gonna take a break.
I hope several of the investigators are listening.
Oh my God, guys.
I think this will...
Shout out to Goddess Masterpiece for sending me this video. It is freaking hilarious, and I needed this laugh this morning. So I thought I'd share with y'all, because this is so funny. I don't know why people get on roller coasters with wigs and lace fronts and just to be terrorized, like terrified. I mean, like, come on, man. This girl looked like she was damn near passed out on this ride, and she woke up and said this. Y'all gotta check this out. Freaking hilarious.
What's wrong with my feet? Your eyes open. No, not hers.
Oh my God, dude. Don't go to the amusement park with a lace front or a wig and get on a damn ride. Oh my God. See, why even? Why?
My wig! My fucking wig!
She was damn near passed out on there and woke up. My wig!
How much shit cost? How much my wig costed? Oh no, Jake! Oh no! Buy my fucking wig! Look at this shit! No, on my edges! Oh my God! Where my wig behind me? Where my wig at? Oh my goodness!
This is better than the damn scaring part.
Okay, we back. A little bit of craziness there.
Shed light on the investigation. It'll help them out, and so that's the way we're going to go into this.
I love your comment. You don't have a dog in the fight. So if I was a case agent and I came to
He actually has everything.
This is exactly what you would do. Am I right?
He actually has everything typed out as well. So.
That's correct.
But you can't read it, really.
I'm just going to break it down. Actually, Chris, I've had different agencies come to me with cases, and they have said, this is our suspect, we want to know. Actually, they're wanting to focus on that guy, and they're wanting ammunition for that person. And there's times I've just had to say, "This is not your guy." I'm just going to give it to them the way it is. Whatever their brain reveals is what I'm going to give to them. And so, I check all my biases at the door. I'm just going to go with what his brain reveals.
Awesome. And as we get started, guys and gals, thank you. Right up front, I want to thank you for all of your consideration, of super chats, etc. I just want to blanket say thank you. We're grateful. And then there's going to be, we'll probably dive into this for an hour and 15. And do you have maybe another 15 minutes after that, Steve, to do a Q&A? And then on the second one, as we go through it, then we can really dive into letting folks, get into your head. Are you okay with that?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
My head's a scary place, though.
I've known that for a long time, but you've seen me. Mine is even worse. So we're good. I love it. That was hysterical. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit the play button, and there's a couple of places here that we don't want to compromise anything. So I'll jump over it. But whenever you see the highlighted area, that'll be a jump. You good? All right. Here we go. All right. So. Everybody give me a 1 when I start playing so I know that everybody can hear it on that side. And Steve, give me the heads up on when you want to stop. All right, here we go.
Sounds good.
Hello. Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
How do it sound?
I just wanted to call and talk to you a little bit. I might have misunderstood exactly what was going on. If I have, I apologize to you. I just a little bit confusing everything, what's going on and all.
Yeah, there's no problem, Don. I mean, I wanted to talk to you at length and sit down.
So it sounds like they had some type of feud. And so Dinah's basically calling him to apologize for whatever misunderstanding they had.
Sit down with you. I knew that there was, you couldn't talk about the boys, but, I just want to focus on Summer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
if I was wrong, I'm sorry. I just kind of misunderstood some things. I think it's miscommunication or whatever. I don't know.
No worries.
Everybody said they thought he was really cool and stuff like that. So I'm just kind of trying to think, But yeah, that's what I want to do is focus on Summer. Everybody's focused on me and Candace, and I've been trying to tell from the beginning when the cops first started pulling into our house that she's not here. And I've never listened.
Hold up, Chris.
Wait,
He just gave us context that we need to understand moving forward. He said everybody's focused on me and Candace, and so this interview is taking place quite a while after Summer's gone missing, and he's been questioned a lot, and he's feeling the heat, he's feeling that pressure, and he says everybody's focused on me and Candace. So that's important for us as we go through this, because we have to take that into consideration that there's going to be a little bit more sensitivity in his language. We might see more of it than we would normally expect, because he knows that he's being questioned, and his statement is going to be a bit contaminated now because of all the questions that have been asked to him. He just kind of let us know he's going to kind of gear his what he says.
So you said that Don said that Chris made his interview into a Jerry Springer show, and that's why he's apologizing. Well, I mean, I think Don is doing a lot of talking, and it seems like to me he's not helping himself. The more he talks, the more he contradicts himself, and the more questions we have. So I think if anybody is making it out of a Jerry Springer show, it will be them, because I will stop talking. You have the right to remain silent. You don't have to talk to everybody that asks you to talk, especially if you know that they recording you and putting it on YouTube. Like, I wouldn't say nothing. I really wouldn't. I probably would have gave my first statement, and that's it. The less you talk, the less they have. But I mean,
How you doing, baby? You had the 6 wing?
yes,
Lemon pepper?
yes. You don't have the cooks in there today?
Huh?
The ladies ain't in here today?
They're coming.
Oh, hell no, they ain't here. Damn. Oh my God, did you cook this? Sorry, y'all. Hold on. Lord.
You don't want to see me?
I mean, the ladies, they got it, and they do a good job. They do a damn good job. So.
Well, actually, they're coming out.
Oh, I still needed that water or the ice. Oh, it looked pretty good. It looked good.
You said you want a hot sauce?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, you got it.
Okay. You too. Sorry, y'all. Food interrupting me. Blame it on the food, not me. And I got chicken out that I need to fry, and I came here, but y'all know how it is. Y'all know how it is for me. Okay, that's what I'm eating. Seem like it's more to this. Right. And like I said, hey, Vi, welcome. Like I said, this is the second person that went missing in this family. And the aunt that went missing, the sister of the mother whose child is missing, she's never been found. Never.
Towards the questions that have already been asked previous to you asking questions. So that's context is key.
And I think she went missing in 2009. Correct me if I'm wrong, you knew. I think it was 2009.
And I love that you said, what I want to do is focus on summer. And I like that. That's positive. I hope that continues on, that I see, because that is appropriate. And I want to see that continue on, that he wants to focus on summer. And, it's interesting, though, as I say this, I'm looking at his transcript up here on the screen. What I want to do is focus on summer. Everybody's focused on me and Candace, and that's why he wants to focus on summer. It's because he's feeling the heat, and he wants to deflect back to summer. And so it's also, it changes things a little bit right there. What was your thought as you heard him say that? Did you have any thoughts?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was right along those lines that he's introducing the investigators that have already, sat down with him, and then he, was reiterating, hey, that, I'm trying to, talk about my daughter for a moment here, right?
Yeah. So we want to see that continue. So I'm hoping that continues on, and I'm expecting now to see a little bit more sensitivity in his language. When I say sensitivity, what I mean is more anxiety, if you will. I need to explain, And so, but it needs to be appropriate. It needs to be appropriate in this context. So
the foundation here is going forward. The whole focus should be on summer. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. You want me to keep moving?
Let's keep moving, and you're going to ask him a question here, and then he's going to give you an answer, and we'll stop right after that answer.
Okay, sounds good.
What do you? I know you feel that way. So what's brought you to that? Why are you at that?
Well, I knew as soon as I pulled up, as soon as I pulled up, I didn't get a call back from Candace saying, "Oh, we found her." And I come all the way out from Jonesboro, and I probably made it in 30 minutes at least, if not faster. But I beat all the police there, and I went straight to the bar property and see everybody looking. I knew she was gone because she don't go away from the house ever.
Yeah. And
so
go ahead.
Well, I just knew. I knew right then, that very second, that she was gone.
Okay, do you want me to stop that?
Yeah, let's stop.
Okay, so yeah, I wanted to talk about this because in the very beginning, when he was saying that, like she had just went missing, and it's like he already accepted it. You know what I'm saying? Like when my cousin was murdered, I didn't want to accept it. I didn't want to look. I didn't want to look at her obituary. I didn't want to see R.I.P. I didn't want to accept it, and I knew that she was gone. He's already accepting her death. I find that very, very strange. I would not let those words come out of my mouth because I would be trying to be so positive, and I wouldn't want to think that way. This man has said this from day one, that she's gone. And then, then he started talking about who might have her, and that's just, I don't know. I thought that was odd.
Right there. So, I'm actually not feeling warm and fuzzy about this answer, and it kind of bothers me. And here's why. There's a couple things going on here. First of all, he says he's talking about all this. He's giving us all this extra information that is really not necessary about his overt actions of getting there and how fast he got there. I come all the way out from Jonesboro. I probably made it in 30 minutes at least, if not faster. But I beat all the police there. And Chris, this is he's building himself up, and this is a convincing statement of, look at what I did. If you don't believe me that I'm not involved, look how fast I got here. And it doesn't even need to be stated. In fact, most parents wouldn't even think to talk about how fast they drove to get there. Now, with that being said, like I said, he has been asked a lot of questions, and so he may feel the need to explain or to convince a little bit more because he's feeling the heat, and maybe he's feeling like people are accusing him, and so he's stepping this up to convince people that he really is a good person, a good dad, and look how fast he got there. And I would give him a pass on that. I mean, I'm teetering on this. It goes, I would take both into consideration. But now here's the thing where the scale kind of tips for me. He says, I seen everybody looking, and I knew she was gone. And it gives me a reason why. Because she don't go away from the house, ever. I knew right then, that very second, that she was gone. And my question is, how in the world does a father process that fast that his child is gone? I mean,
it's crazy.
Chris, that goes against, that defies human nature. We don't process that quick.
Right.
And he's made this conclusion
Already writing her off.
and that, we could debate back and forth about that word "gone" because we hear that used in homicide investigations, homicide cases, but it also can be used, in a kidnapping. But more when we're looking at a kidnapping case, we expect to hear words like "she was taken," that she was abducted, that she was stolen, things like that. Meaning that there still is hope that she's alive and that she's
way too much.
And there's just hope. And I don't.
Honestly, his thinking could be that because a lot of times people look at people as if they're guilty when they don't talk. So maybe he's thinking, if I talk more, maybe they won't suspect me. I don't know, but he ain't doing a good job. And everything that comes out of my mouth is allegedly because the man has not been arrested. They're not named as a suspect, I guess. Or they might be number one suspect and they just not telling us. But yes, Vi, he does talk too much. But that's good for summer. Who is that? Because he sounds funny. That guy's name is Steve. He's a statement analysis. So he breaks down everything somebody got to say. He's been doing it for a few years, I guess.
Have that here. His language that she's gone. That's final. That's
crazy.
More of, the thought process of finality, and that there's no hope. There's no hope there, and
right.
I have a problem with that.
Right.
And what's interesting about that? I didn't get here till almost 30 days into this, right, if not longer. Okay, and so in the very beginning, in some of the news conferences, he was laying out, that she's gone. She's
very beginning,
etc. And then he follows that up with, how does he see her? And he does some really interesting, statements on that. And what I'm learning here is even in the last week, he is constantly adapting to the statements that he is, hearing and listening. And it won't surprise me if, he's here tonight watching this. Okay? And he's going to adapt to everything we're talking about. Okay? The problem with that, right, as you and I both know, the challenge with that is the truth is a constant. And unfortunately, you get into the interview room with, the LE at the PD, they're going to go, what about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? And, anyway, so I'm going to keep moving. Sound good?
Hold on just one second. One more thought as you were talking. That adaptation, that's a very typical thing. But there's a thing we call late to the party. It's something, your answer should have been right the first time. And after you've had time to listen to things and to adapt and to change your denials and your exclamations and things, it's late to the party, and so they're diminished. As I was looking this over, his words about him coming all the way out from Jonesboro, and I probably made it in 30 minutes. This reminds me of Barry Morphew's statement. And folks, if you haven't seen Barry Morphew's interview and the breakdown we did on that, go back and look at that, after this show. But Barry said, if you remember, Chris, he said, I left all my tools there and I drove straight through. And it's this over convincing of how urgent he felt. He's trying to manufacture this urgency, and it just didn't work. And that's a sign for us because it was an unnecessary expression of urgency that that it was obviously he was manufacturing it, and this is very similar to that. So,
Man, if I knew, knowing everybody is dissecting every single word you say, why would you keep talking? Why? I think that's so strange. You're not convincing anybody. And the more he talked, the more people come out. So I didn't hear the interview that Chris did with his sister, but I heard that there's an interview that he did with her sister. I think no, they might not get to it, but he actually brings that up. And Don actually admitted that, yeah, she used to touch me and I used to touch her. But this was a sister. But I'm thinking, and I think he said that sister ended up marrying her cousin or some weird, and then I'm not sure if it's his real sister or if it was a stepsister, half sister, whatever. But yeah, apparently they had some involvement. Now, he kept saying that she was really young and he was older than her. I don't know how much older he was of her, but that just don't sound good. Stepsister, yeah, it might have been. And that's what I was saying. I don't think it was his real sister, but still.
you know, scales are being tipped here a little bit the wrong way.
So are folks saying that I'm blurry? So I know my screen is blurry, but is this helping at all? I mean, by the way, my whole life is blurry, so I hope I can fix that. But so I'm going to keep moving.
Welcome, sir.
We used to call this.
Thanks for coming through.
Some other dude. Okay, it's the classic. Somebody shows up at the PD for a conversation, and they bring a friend, and that guy sits on the couch, and in the interview, he says, "Well, if you don't believe me, go ask Hank. He's out there in the lobby." Okay, yeah, we'll go ask Hank. Okay, so let's keep moving. And by the way, I'm not going to answer any questions of whether I think he's guilty or innocent. That's up to the LA authorities. And then, of course, the court of law. So, those who want me to do that, it ain't going to happen. So, here we go.
Chris, stop after his next answer as well.
Okay. What inside you brought that so quickly, brother? Where did you come from on that?
Well, I knew he was looking around the hill and everything up top there, and I drove straight to the bottom there where that little funky shed is there, and I went down the hill by the creek in that little four-wheel drive Subaru. I went straight down there to the creek, and I seen the boys down there, and they know not to travel alone. It was together, and I seen my neighbor.
See how he said he's seen the boys down there, but they know not to travel together? They know not to travel alone. They work together. He's trying to make it seem like he was a good dad. They listened to him. And Summer wouldn't have went off by herself. She never does. Somebody had to take her. That's basically what I'm getting out of him explaining that part.
Walking around, and I knew my heart just sank right there. I just knew it that somebody took her. Because he just don't go nowhere, but she would never leave from up of the around the house there. No way.
Okay. So that we have this continuation of the processing in a situation where a normal parent would process that fast that she was gone, and he also introduced that somebody took her. So now we have the abduction theory coming into play here, which, like you said, Chris, he introduced that in his first interview with the media, and he went to great lengths that somebody took her far, far away. I remember watching that.
That's crazy.
But there's something in here that's interesting, and it's very subtle. And if you're not looking for it, don't know what to look for, you'll miss it. And most investigators.
Now this was sharp.
So he says,
Wait.
and I seen the boys down there,
No, not this
They
part
know
yet.
not to travel alone. They was together. So what he's saying there is that he has trained his boys not to travel alone. That's the only way the boys could know that. And so what's he saying about himself? He's saying, I'm a good dad. I trained those boys not to travel alone. And so they stayed together. And so we see this, they will build themselves up.
Hey, Deb.
We call it the good mom, good dad principle. And we see it most often when they know that they have done something wrong, that they may not have been a good parent, and so they will subtly build themselves up to be a good parent in a situation like this. So it's one of those interesting things that we see, and I always highlight it when I see those things because it's typically an indication that there's likely something under the surface that's lurking there, that he feels this need to build himself up. Otherwise, why would you have to build yourself up? The focus should be on Summer, not on what a good dad he is and how he's trained his boys. So that's, for me, that's a little bit of an issue.
Interesting. Okay, I'm going to keep moving. Tell me when to stop.
Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, what about the boys? What were they doing when you saw them down there by the shed?
We weren't by the shed. They was down they were, if you look down where the power lines are, you go straight down, they were looking, walking around looking for Summer. And I just knew she was gone. But tried to tell the police that and everything when they just pulled up, and then they blocked all the roads because they had, I guess they took the time to call in search teams and everything like that, thinking that she was just lost in the woods. I was trying to tell them she's not lost in the woods. Somebody just taken her, I was trying to tell them that, and they never did listen to that.
What was your feeling as to why they weren't listening? What's your gut?
I'm not sure why. I'm not exactly sure why that is.
Steve, I have a question for you on that one.
Yeah.
So he made it a point to say that he was the first one there before the PD, right?
Yeah.
And then in here, he says to tell the police that everything, when they just pulled up, and then they blocked all the roads. So what he's saying is he was down at the bottom, okay, and the cops show up, okay, and so he then goes back up to basically tell them what's going on. But I talked to some folks that said they already had his driveway blocked. So I thought that was kind of problematic just listening to that while listening to him. It wasn't lining up, as I'm saying, right, with what potentially could have been. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to stop. So I'm going to keep moving. Any follow up on that from your perspective?
It's a good point. What he's doing here, and from what I can see, is he is denigrating the police already. He's for whatever reason, it's a subtle denigration to the police, and I'm not sure that we could say why he's doing that at this point in time. I think by the end we may understand a little bit more, but it's a subtle dig to the police officers.
So if you have a moment, can you kind of keep like little flags from your professional experience, maybe a count of, or whatever you do? I don't even know. I don't think I've ever asked you that question, but if you maybe a little, something that says, okay, I'm seeing this, so we can keep tabs of it towards the end.
Absolutely.
Because 72% of this conversation is him, and 23% of it is me. So I'd be curious as to your assessment, just on day one here in this particular conversation as we move forward. Okay, so I'm going to keep moving. You good? good with
Let's
that?
go. Yeah, let's go.
Okay.
I mean, probably because they figured that she was just lost. I don't know what I'm talking about. And, you know, they all have different questions and this and that. You know, probably because, you know, many times before it's always been the parents too. So, you know, or whatever, I'm not sure. But I just knew that she was headed down the road somewhere in somebody's car, and no matter what I was saying, it just wasn't getting through. I just felt like I was just totally lost. I was in shock.
Yeah.
A complete shock. Yeah.
All right,
When you got
let's
there,
hold up there. So, yeah, this is interesting. At the end there's a couple things going on in there, but he took the focus off Summer and he turned it to his own emotion. And Chris, quite frankly, I usually don't see this unless the parent has some kind of knowledge or involvement somehow, that they will talk about their own emotion instead of
After.
the concern for his daughter. And now he introduced here again that somebody has her, that she's in somebody's car. She's, headed down the road somewhere in somebody's car. So it's the abduction theory. But what I expect to go along with that is anger. I expect all these different thoughts about or reasons why he came to that conclusion, because
There's no way I could have let those words come out of my mouth, first of all. Two, without crying my eyes out. To even imagine my baby being taken by a stranger and riding in a car with them, going God's know where. I wouldn't even be able to say that without bawling. I wouldn't say it because I wouldn't even want to imagine that. I wouldn't. That's crazy, man. That's suspect.
all he's really said is that she's gone. She's in somebody's car. She's headed down the road. Well, what brings you to that? What has gone on in your mind to bring you to that conclusion, to make those
And
words
be cool
come out
with
of your
saying
mouth?
that.
He's not giving me that. And then what he's really not also, especially not giving us, is that where's the concern for Summer?
Right. You just said that all blasé.
Are they taking care of her? Is she being fed? Is she, does she have her, if they took her, do they take her medications? Do they take her pillow and her dolly and all those comfort things? And I hope they're treating her good. And oh my gosh, if they're doing anything to her, I swear
None of that. He ain't say none of that.
Find them. I hope the police get the job done quickly and find her. I'm just not hearing any of those things, and it's disturbing. It's noticeably missing, and so what he did is he did his own emotion instead of of talking about Summer.
Yeah, right. No, and I've shared this with my YouTube family here. I lost my son, who was 20 years old in 2003.
Oh my God.
And at the time, Karen and I were at Disneyland when he died in an accident. And I can remember the moment my phone rang. I was standing at the teacups in, Fantasyland or whatever that is over there. And I remember talking to the cop on the phone who said, hey, and he told me, and I was like, what are you talking about? And I didn't believe it. And I cannot tell you to this day how we left Disneyland. Okay? And that was September 3rd, 2003. Okay? I can tell you, though, I didn't believe it. And my biggest questions were, all the way to where it happened, was what happened? And I needed those confirmation answers from the PD. I didn't know what happened, and I didn't say this happened. And that struck me the moment he said that. I was like, why are you saying she's been already, kidnapped down the road in a car? How do you know this? And so that was from a personal measure, on a personal level. And so that did strike me as, it just didn't feel right, when I heard it.
Yeah,
I'm going to keep moving.
Man, that's a perfect example that parents don't process that quick. Even though it's being explained
Hey, Hawkeye.
to you and they're telling you, you refuse to process. It's very, very difficult for a parent to process and come to that conclusion that quick. So, that's a tragic story, but you just made it's a perfect example of what I've been saying here.
Yeah, and thousands of people probably watching us have had the same experience and have probably measured it, the exact same way. So I thought it was interesting. I'm going to keep moving. You good with that?
Let's go. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. All right, bud.
Describe for me what the scene looked like. What was going on? Well, the police started coming in and everything, and I'm like, well, I'm going to go take my car and I'm going to go look here and there, and around it I drove, like I say, I was in shock. I didn't know which way to go, and then so I tried to drive down, and I got down on the road, and there was these people to bring in their trailers in, and their four-wheelers, and all of Ben Hill and Beach Creek was just bottlenecked. Traffic jam. Couldn't get nowhere. Right. Couldn't go nowhere.
And then what about, are these all cops, or are they search and rescue?
Well, they were mostly police and, volunteer search and rescue or whatever like that.
Okay.
But I probably didn't clarify on the phone, either that she was abducted because I didn't know at the time. But like I say, when I pulled up there, I knew that she was gone. And maybe I didn't communicate that to them like I should have, or was what I felt. Well, I had a few times. I said she's not here. I come to that conclusion right away. But
and what brought you to that conclusion? That was pretty quick, right? I mean,
just knowing her, and that because we tried to scare the heck out of her and let her know, because we do have bears, right? And we do, them dogs. Everybody keeps talking about them dogs. They're the stupidest damn things, and they also will go away for days and then come back.
Now that's a damn lie.
And they weren't there that day.
So you know what though, what I got out of that part with him talking about the dogs and a lot of talking points that Don uses is because he's watching YouTube and he's seeing what everybody is saying. He's seeing the people asking, where was the dogs? How the hell you got 15? I don't know. They got dogs, a bunch of dogs, like 14 or 15 dogs or something ridiculous like that. So he's basically just answering the questions of the people on YouTube. And he gonna sit up here and say that the dogs disappear for days. He don't know where they go, and they pop up hungry and all of this stuff. Come on, y'all. How many of y'all believe that all the dogs disappeared off the property all at the same time? Now, Chris ended up saying, basically he's saying he don't believe it because he said that when he went over there, it was 2 different packs of dogs, and it was like 7 dogs in packs, and then it was another 4 dogs in pack when he came on the property, and they was barking their heads off. So just so conveniently, they were nowhere around when Summer got gone, like he liked to say. Come on, man. Stop it, I say.
Oh, yeah.
right. So this is a really key statement that he made here. First of all, and I'm just going to back up just a little bit. We have more of the. He expressed his own emotion again. Like I said, it's a referral statement. Like I say, I was in shock. He's really wanting you to believe this. He's selling it, and I can't. That for me, it just does the opposite. You already told me this, and now you're selling it again. I mean, how many times do you have to beat your feet before we go, there's a real problem here? And then more of the, she was gone without any explanation or any more detail, but he come to that conclusion right away that she was gone. And so, Chris, you asked a great question, and questions are the catalyst for wonderful answers. And you said, and what brought you to that conclusion? That was pretty quick, right? And so, and then about her Summer being gone. So it's a great question. So here's what he says. And again, this has a lot of information in here that most professional investigators are going to miss unless they know what to look for. So he says, just knowing her. So he's minimized it already with the just knowing her, no other explanation. But look what happens now. He says, and this because we tried to scare the heck out of her. Okay? So what he's doing here is he's selling this that he knows her well enough that he doesn't need any other explanation. It's just that because I know her that well, I know my 5-year-old that well, that I just know that she wouldn't leave the yard. And so that's how I know that somebody took her. But that is a problem for him. And I know that because now his brain is kind of giving him this a signal that, Don, you better explain this further because they're not going to believe you. And so he explains this without being asked to explain it further. Your question solicited some high sensitivity, high anxiety, and acute need to explain why this is. And so he says, because we tried to scare the heck out of her. Now, he used that word tried. That doesn't mean that they did. That is typical of when they are distancing themselves from commitment to what they're saying. And I go back now to the word just knowing her, that's another little distancing. And so we started out with distancing, and now we have this tried, which he takes himself out of the, further from the commitment again. So he's saying that they scared her, they tried to scare her. And if you don't believe me, because we do have bears. So this is really his brain on overload. I need to sell this really bad that we tried to scare her, and if you don't believe that, you should believe me because we have bears. And then it gets better.
The mountain lion.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, from Barrymore, if you use that, what you're referring to.
Right,
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. So same thing. So I know now that he is feeling a lot of stress. Okay, your question brought out this high level of stress in him. Look what he does now. He says, and we do, them dogs can lick you so much. Them dogs, they're the stupidest damn things. They also will go away for days and then come back. I don't know where the heck they go, but they do.
And like I said, that's bullshit. Okay, so why would the dogs go away for days at a time and not eat? Like, come on. You think the dogs ain't gonna stick around where they can eat and drink at?
Chris, he described what a habit of the dogs. And you got to ask yourself, why did he take so much time to describe what these dogs normally do, what they could do, to sell you that these dogs are stupid and that they go away? well, here's why. And after he says all that, he says, and they weren't there that day. That statement, that little sentence came after all that explanation. He laid the groundwork. And so it's a need to persuade you that the dogs weren't there that day, because they can disappear at different times without any reason. He wants you to believe that they weren't there that day. So it's an overt need to sell that. And Chris, that's a huge thing. This whole answer that he gave you to that question that you asked, how you came to that conclusion, it has brought up huge anxiety in Don, and this need to persuade you and to sell his story that the dogs weren't there that day. The dogs weren't there. That's the only way that somebody could have got up to take Summer. The stars had to align, and the dogs had to be gone. And that happened. And if you don't believe me that happened, it's because they can lick you so much, and they're the stupidest damn things. And because they're stupid, they will go away for days at a time. He's selling it.
People that love dogs don't talk about their dogs like that.
That's a real problem. He is selling the story, and it's a story that he made up it's a story that he's told from the beginning. And I think my mind went to that he made it up because of his overt need to sell it, and that's just not right. It's not normal.
Well, and that's interesting because when I pulled up, there were about 4 or 5 dogs that came out of the woods, and about 7 or 8 dogs at the top of the hill. So it looks like they run in 2 packs, and it looks like they've bonded in that way. And I caught that right away, being a former dog handler when in the PD. 86 to 89, I was a dog handler, as you remember. So I was like, well, that's interesting because we have to say that all 13 dogs simultaneously, with the universe on schedule, decided to just disappear into the woods, so that this guy had the perfect scenario with no dogs, and then of course some of the other linchpins. But the other piece of that, which I thought was interesting, is every one of those dogs that when I first approached, they were barking their heads off. And then as I got, they became a little more familiar with me and I wasn't making eye contact with them, then, they kind of mellowed out and they actually went under the trucks and laid down. And so, I mean, I'm no, Caesar Milan by any shape or extension or even thought process, but I certainly would be interested in getting him to weigh in on, behavior where all the dogs, and then, by the way, the other piece is, if you look at some of the photography taken that day by the people on scene, all of those dogs are there. At least 4 or 5 of them were in some of the photographs.
Well, what do you know?
They was there.
That was kind of interesting.
Well,
okay, I'm going to keep moving.
Yeah, there you go. That's why his need to sell this, that they weren't there, because they actually were there. So there you go.
So are you ready?
Don, stop talking, guy. Just stop talking.
So the dogs, you think maybe the dogs got, what's your thought on why the dogs weren't there?
I don't know where they go, but there's been times, like I say, they've disappeared for days, and they'll come dragging back all tired and beat up and stuff like that. I don't know where they go.
When I told Candace she needed a zoo license.
Chris, hold up.
That was funny when he told her she needed a zoo license.
He didn't answer your question. He avoided the question. And he went totally back to selling this thing about the dogs. Another problem. There's another problem, Chris, and we got to ask, why would he want to deflect or avoid this question? I think it goes back to him needing to sell that story that he told the reporters right from the beginning.
Okay, I'll let you go.
I see that. Yeah.
I'm like,
I know.
you know. So what time did you get there? Do you remember?
Well, they say, you know, it's really strange because I thought it was 5:30, but the 911 call says 6:30, 6:26 is when the first call come in. And it could well be. I sometimes I work till sunset, you know. A lot of times I haven't been here lately, but
Yeah.
I thought it was 5:30. But the strange thing of it is when we went to the Hawkins County to do our lie detectors and everything like that, they took all of our phones. And then magically all of our phone records from 3:30 on that day have been deleted.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, me, my wife's and her mother have all been deleted from 3:30 on.
So they had your
we gotta
phones
talk
that
about
day.
this. Yeah. I'm curious to hear what you thought when you heard this come out of his mouth, because this is a key part of all this right here.
Yeah, well, I know what they did with those phones. You know what they did with those phones. And I don't think they gave them back, personally. I think they're sitting in an evidence locker somewhere.
Yeah.
And there's a CAS team or a data analysis team that is pounding on those, because I've heard that they bought new phones shortly after this at AT&T. Okay. That's my understanding.
Well, so here's my perspective on this, and I agree with you 100%. If I was in an investigation like this, and we had reason to take the phones, they're not getting those phones back. That's right. That's evidence. So they would be in an evidence locker. So I'd be hugely surprised if they got those phones back. But what he said was, linguistically, we want to know what the linguistic behavior is here. It's interesting that he
Now, they don't believe that the phones were given back. Now, if he would lie to them, a cop, about that, he would lie about anything. Come on, they know the procedure for that type of thing.
totally changed the subject from the time that you're asking about the time and everything, and he went to the lie detector, and then he talked about the phones, and it was unsolicited, and I'm okay with that. If it's going to help the investigation and help bring Summer home. It's just interesting the way he said this. Because what he's doing here is he is he's inferring that the police did something that they shouldn't have done. That the police did something shady but he didn't actually say that. So he said, they took all of our phones, and then magically all of our phone records from 3:30 on that day have been deleted. He didn't actually say that the cops deleted that information. He wants you to believe it. He wants you to interpret. This is passive language, meaning he's not saying who deleted that information. He can't bring himself to say that the cops deleted that information, but he is acknowledging that information is missing from 3:30 on that day, and it's on his wife's phone, his phone, and his mother-in-law's phone. All that information is deleted, and it would not surprise me one bit if we had a peek into those phones that are likely sitting in evidence right now, if they deleted records from the hard drive of that phone. Doesn't mean it's deleted from the carrier's records, but it's probably on the hard drive. I think they may have tried to delete some information, some text messages or whatever it is. But he's trying to cast blame on the investigators, but he didn't actually say that. And this is a very common thing for people to do in situations, investigations like this. They will try to steer it, cast doubt, cast blame, parry, to some, like you said, this the sod, some other dude. Only in this case, look at the police, because that information is now missing. So it's really interesting.
If that investigator did give it back to him, then, you know, that guy needs to go to Homicide 101 or Missing Persons 101.
I really hope that didn't happen. Yeah.
Me too. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. How about that?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. But you and I both know the technology, you know. So I'm gonna put a bingo card on 50 for that technology to come back. So we'll go there. How about that?
Yeah, I'm with you.
You're gonna add a 50, so we got bingo for 100.
There we go.
Technology
Absolutely.
coming back. Okay, so let's see where we're headed here. And by the way, I think this one where he goes here is really interesting, and I've been waiting to hear your insight on this side here. So
you tell me where you want to stop then. Where?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
And when did they give them back to you?
And by the way, for the record, Don is very nice on the phone. He's very polite. You know, he's very, you know, thankful. He thanks a lot. You know, I think this is his MO, is, you know, to kind of kill him with kindness and see where it goes. And then when it doesn't kind of go his way, and I think that this is a good example of what the PD. I mean, the PD are trying to find his daughter. Okay, and to your point earlier, and my observation earlier, and this is just my opinion, they're doing it wrong. Okay? And in fact, he's got these, you know, detectives that he told me about who are going to do it right. Okay? So I think that's, you know, pretty interesting in of itself. But and that's we're going to see where it's going to go here. I'll stop it, or you tell me where to stop before my thought process. If that's
okay. Sounds good.
All right.
They give them back, you know, fairly quickly, but we never even looked at them until about, you know, a week or two ago.
Okay. So this is his communication lifeline. And
yeah.
Finding his daughter, Summer, the lifeline communication to the PD, to the world, about, hey, we found her. Okay. But somehow he doesn't look at him for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Thought? What's your thought on that?
Yeah, I have that highlighted, and actually I have, not only we never even looked at it, but I have arrows pointing to the words never and even. Never is one of those words that's often used as a substitute for I didn't or I did not. It doesn't mean that, but it's often used as a substitute. And then he adds in this even. When I hear that, I never even looked at it. I didn't even know. That tells me that he likely did know. He did look at it. This is a sales. This is something out of a sales line, a persuasion line. That's what it is. It's persuasion. We never even looked at it. So he's trying to sell this thing about not knowing that the information was deleted from the phones. And that right there tells me that he likely knew about the information being deleted before those phones were even handed over.
Hey, Shay.
Well, I'm going to go one step further for a second, because he introduces the detectives, not TBI, not FBI, who's looking at those phones, but his detectives.
Yeah.
His detectives ask, right? He goes, we have some detectives that we talk to a lot, and they wanted to know exactly this information. And we all looked, and it was all gone, deleted. So he's had, allegedly, the cops give him the phone back and say, hey, here you go.
Thank you, you knew.
And
I'm about to turn it back off, though.
2 weeks later,
For the moment.
after somebody says, hey, we'd like to see that information, and lo and behold, it's all gone. Right? So, you know, so for 2 weeks he didn't text. Not a single text came out of that phone for 2 weeks.
Highly improbable. Yeah.
Highly improbable. Yeah.
And
just go ahead. Go ahead, Steve. I'm sorry.
I was going to say that what you brought up about the detectives, I have that all highlighted as well. That is a reason. That is because his persuasion, we never even looked at it until about a week or two ago. That was so weak for him. He had to now give you a reason he had to sell that and give you a reason for looking at that, and that was the detectives. So it's one of those areas he wasn't asked, but yet he gave it. It's an unnecessary persuasion, and so that's.
What is everybody thinking with this? Do y'all feel like Don is talking too much, or it's good that he's talking? What do you think about what you heard so far? And how much longer? I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link. You knew if you want to pop up, because this is like, well, it's about 40 minutes left, but you can come up and we can talk about what we heard so far, or what you think, because I know you got some thoughts on this, and anybody could come up. I'm gonna drop the link. It's like a strong delay in the buttons that I push. Too dang much, but it's okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm glad it worked that time. It works when it wants to.
Check out Precious Decals for your business card needs. Let her know Miss V of Make This Go Viral, MTGVTV, sent you. Prompt delivery. You will not be disappointed.
You new in the building. How you doing?
Hey, sweetie, how's it going?
Good.
Is it
Is what?
is it messed up already?
I hear you.
Is it clear?
I think so, but I mean, I like to hit mute so it won't be no feedback.
Okay.
But I'm gonna hit mute and let you talk. Tell me what you think so far.
Okay, so did they hold on before you do that? Did they say the part about the car where she's her car? Because Precious called me, so I ended up being off the thing for a second.
Okay, and then I was distracted because I went into the store and then I walked into the house and I've been doing stuff, so I'm not sure if they said that part or not.
So do you know what I'm talking about though, right? Where he's saying her car? Okay.
Yeah.
I listened to it, really, really listened to it like 3 or 4 times, and I didn't hear her car. I heard the car, a car. He has an accent, a strong, strong accent, and it sounded like a car, not her car. It sounded like a car. That's what he said it. That's exactly how he said it, a car. So it sounded like her car, but it wasn't her car. It was a car. So a lot of people on
oh my God, hold on,
were saying something about it, and I was like, nah, bro.
I thought I heard him say her.
It's a car. He said it. He said he has an accent, and he said it fast. He said a car. It sounded like he said her car, but he's saying a car. Because even if he says her car, how do we know it's not him who has her car? They can't automatically say, "Oh, Candace did it. The grandma did it." He could just say her. If he said her car, it could have been him driving her car. It could have been somebody borrowing her car. Who knows?
So out of everything you heard, I mean, if did you listen to this full interview?
Yes, I heard it. I was.
So what did you get out of the full interview?
Okay. So the other thing is, as far as the dogs, okay, no, I'm gonna say what I think about Don's situation, where he is always about him. Woe, it's me. Everything that's going on that went wrong or whatever happened with Summer is not about Summer. It's about woe is me. He's always saying it's oh, they're attacking me. Oh, this person is they're threatening me. It's all about him. It's not even about her anymore. It's all about him. Constantly it's about him. He's like what they call very vain. He's about himself, like he's thinking about himself more than he's thinking about anything else. And then about the dogs, I'm glad you pulled that up. They're saying that the dogs weren't there that day. Is there, like, I'm trying to figure out, is there a day when the dogs are not there? Is that why they did it that day? Is that why it was set up for that day?
I think it's a lie, personally. Hey,
No,
Simply
I'm
Talking
saying
Podcast.
so. No,
Hey,
I'm saying.
Alice and Hawkeye. Everybody that I may not have spoke to.
Oh,
Go
is
ahead.
Alice there? I didn't get to say hi to Alice till I said hi. Hi, Alice. How you doing? Whoever else that I didn't say hi to, hello. No, I'm saying, okay, I'm saying if the dogs weren't barking, right? I'm saying as far as like from what Candace said, they didn't hear the dogs barking. The dogs were what? They were supposed to be quiet. Like, come on, you know what I'm saying? So if Candace is saying they were quiet or they didn't hear the dogs barking, and you heard the dogs barking at their interview, I heard their dogs barking when Chris was there at their house. I heard them barking when Candace came out. Like they bark. It doesn't matter if they know you or not. Dogs automatically will bark at you. My dog barks at me, and I have a Chihuahua. She barks at me if she's sitting next to me, and I wake her up out of her sleep. She starts barking at me like I'm a stranger. This is what she does. And if I'm sitting down and somebody gets behind me, she starts barking at whoever's behind me. If somebody's coming up the street, she starts barking. They're like 300 feet away from my house, and she's already barking at them. So how you gonna tell me you
I
didn't hear
think
your dog?
Chihuahuas bark a little bit more than the average dog.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. But just the fact that I think dogs are very they're known to be guard dogs. Most dogs are guard dogs. They're not like dogs that some people, yeah, they have missed pets and they're everything like things like that. Like they love their pets and all that stuff. But what I'm saying is they're known to be guard dogs, regardless of what type of dog they are, what kind of breed they are. They're guard dogs. They guard whoever owns them and takes care of them. Now, if you're not taking care of them dogs, of course they're going to come at you wrong, and they're not going to be nice to you because you're not being nice to them. They're almost kind of human-like. They're kind of human-like.
Okay, so the whole dog thing, I don't believe. And I'm gonna go ahead and let this finish playing because I don't know really what part we was on, to be honest.
Okay. All right.
So
Go ahead.
let's see if he even said that part yet.
Okay. Go ahead.
That nails it. That nails it home, right? That hammers it home.
Can you
right
hit
there
mute?
because he used those detectives as
It's muted.
around here out a lot as well, and you know what I'm talking about. Misery loves investigations like this. They will try to steer it, cast doubt, cast blame, Perry, just some, like you said, this Assad, some other dude. Only in this case, look at the police because that information is now missing. So it's really interesting.
If that investigator did give it back to him, that guy needs to go to Homicide 101 or Missing Persons 101.
I really hope that didn't happen. Because, yeah,
too. Me too. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt. How about that?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. But you and I both know the technology. So I'm gonna put a bingo card on 50 for that technology to come back. So we'll go there. How about that?
Yeah, I'm with you.
You're gonna add a 50, so we got a bingo for 100.
There we go.
Technology
Absolutely.
coming back. Okay, so let's see where we're headed here. And by the way, I think this one where he goes here is really interesting, and I've been waiting to hear your insight on this side here. So
you tell me where you want to stop then. Where?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
And when did they give him that deal?
And by the way, for the record, Don is very nice on the phone. He's very polite. He's very, thankful. He thanks a lot. I think this is his MO, is, to kind of kill him with kindness and see where it goes. And then when it doesn't kind of go his way, and I think that this is a good example of what the PD. I mean, the PD are trying to find his daughter. Okay? And to your point earlier, and to my observation earlier, and this is just my opinion, they're doing it wrong. Okay? And in fact, he's got these, detectives that he told me about who are going to do it right. Okay? So I think that's, pretty interesting in of itself. But and that's we're going to see where he's going to go here. And I'll stop it, or you tell me where to stop before my thought process. If that's
okay. Sounds good.
All right.
They give them back, fairly quickly, but we never been looked at until about, a week or two ago.
Okay. So this is his communication lifeline. And finding his daughter, Summer, the lifeline communication to the PD, to the world, about, hey, we found her. Okay. But somehow he doesn't look at him for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
What's your thought on that?
Yeah, I have that highlighted, and actually I have not only we never even looked at it, but I have arrows pointing to the words never and even. Never is one of those words that's often used as a substitute for I didn't or I did not. It doesn't mean that. But it's often used as a substitute, and then he adds in this even. When I hear that, I never even looked at it. I didn't even know. That tells me that he likely did know. He did look at it. This is something out of a sales line, a persuasion line. That's what it is. It's persuasion. We never even looked at it. So he's trying to sell this thing about not knowing that the information was deleted from the phones, and that right there tells me that he likely knew about the information being deleted before those phones were even handed over.
Well, I'm going to go one step further for a second, because he introduces the detectives, not TBI, not FBI, who's looking at those phones, but his detectives.
Yeah.
His detectives ask, right? He goes, we have some detectives that we talk to a lot, and they wanted to know exactly this information. And we all looked, and it was all gone, deleted. So he's had, allegedly, the cops give him the phone back and say, hey, here you go. Okay. And he realizes 2 weeks later, after somebody says, hey, we'd like to see that information. And lo and behold, it's all gone. Okay. So for 2 weeks he didn't text. Not a single text came out of that phone for 2 weeks.
Highly improbable. Yeah.
Highly improbable. Yeah. And just go ahead, Steve. I'm sorry.
I was going to say that what you brought up about the detectives, I have that all highlighted as well. That is a reason. That is because his persuasion, we never even looked at it until about a week or two ago. That was so weak for him. He had to now give you a reason he had to sell that and give you a reason for looking at that, and that was the detectives. So it's one of those areas he wasn't asked, but yet he gave it. It's an unnecessary persuasion, and so that nails it. That nails it home, right? That hammers it home right there, because he used those detectives as a reason for looking at the phone. And then one other thing, he used the word we. We have some detectives. We talked to a lot. They wanted to know exactly this information, and we all looked, and it was gone. So it's not just Don looking. He's burying himself. He's associating himself with the crowd here, and I see that a lot as well. And you know what I'm talking about. Misery loves company. Guilt loves company. People like to bury themselves in the crowd. They won't be noticed as much. It kind of lessens things. It's the little Johnny coming home from school, and teacher says, "Hey, we need to talk." Your teacher called and said you were pulling the girl's hair at school, and Johnny's going to say, "Hey, but Mom, all the boys were pulling the girls' hairs. We were all doing it." And it lessens the guilt. They feel better about it because everyone's doing it. So that's exactly what Don's doing here.
Don might want to stop talking after this.
Well, I remember Barry did this, right? Remember
absolutely.
We searched the mountains. We searched, this over there. All my buddies. We did this. We did that.
Yeah.
In this case, it would be Candace himself and his grandma. That would be the we. Right? That would be the we on this. Good catch, Steve. I appreciate that insight. You ready for some more?
Yeah, let's go.
We have some detectives that we talked to. They wanted to know exactly this information, and we all looked, and it was all gone. Deleted.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
So what about when you, in your gut, I was watching the news, you on the news channel, and when the reporter asked you, what's your fears and stuff, and what is your thought process about where do you think she is?
Well, at first I thought, it's got to be some sicko hillbilly drugging, drug her off in the woods, or something, or somebody put her in her car and took her not too far away, or whatever.
Okay, there it is. It did sound like he said put her in her car. What other word do you think he said?
It sounded like he said put her in the car. Like he said a car. Put her in a car. Like he said it fast.
Nah, I heard her. He said put her in her car.
Repeat it again.
Let me.
Listen to it again.
I'm gonna take it back.
You have to kind of dissect it. Because at first I thought it was her, but it ended up being not.
And I see that a lot as well. And you know what I'm talking about. Misery loves company. Guilt loves company. People like to bury themselves in the crowd. They won't be noticed as much. It kind of lessens things. It's the little Johnny coming home from school, and teacher says, "Hey, we need to talk." Your teacher called and said you were pulling the girl's hair at school, and Johnny's going to say, "Hey, but Mom, all the boys were pulling the girl's hairs. We were all doing it." And it lessens the guilt. That they feel better about it because everyone's doing it. So that's exactly what Don's doing here, burying himself in the crowd.
Well, I remember Barry did this, right?
Absolutely.
We searched the mountains. We searched, this over there. All my buddies. We did this. We did that.
Yeah.
In this case, it would be Candace himself.
See you later, bye.
Grandma. That would be the we. Right, that would be the we on this.
I will pray for
Good
you.
catch, Steve. I appreciate that insight. You ready for some more?
Yeah, let's go.
We have some detectives that we talked to. They wanted to know exactly this information, and we all looked, and it was all gone. Deleted.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
So what about when you, in your gut, I was watching the news, you on the news channel, and when the reporter asked you, what's your fears and stuff, and what process about where do you think she is?
Well, at first I thought, it's got to be some sicko hillbilly druggie, drug her off in the woods or something, or somebody put her in her car and took her not too far away or whatever.
Put her in her car.
It sounds like
So you think?
car.
So you think he said put her in her car?
No, put her in a car. Like, put her in a car. He just said it fast. Put her in the car.
But he said put her in her car.
Right, but the way it's that accent that he has, it's so strong. It sounded like something else. To me, I mean, a lot of people are saying her car, but I'm hearing a car. But it just depends. We all hear differently. So
But he said her twice.
Do it again, one more time. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna let it keep playing.
Like that, but I'm starting to wonder if it isn't some high-end thing. Maybe somebody's seen her on Facebook, because my wife was always posting stuff on Facebook. It could have been, she could be anywhere. My mind just goes back and forth. I don't have any idea. But I figured it's
because Chris gonna play it again too.
Yeah, I'm gonna back up just a little bit before we get too much into the weeds of what he said. We lose it. What he said in the beginning here of this answer. By the way, I love the question, and so now he's got to give you this answer. What his thought process, or where do you think she is? So he says, well, at first I thought, it's going to be some sicko hillbilly druggie, drug her off in the woods or something. And now listen to this, or somebody put her in her car and took her not too far away. Chris, he just told us that he thinks who's ever responsible for this is a female.
Wow,
somebody put her in her car and took her not too far away.
Wow.
He's narrowed this down. That's what's in his head. And Chris, what happens here is the brain works so fast, and that's what makes this work so well, because they can't control this. He would have to talk at a very, very slow rate to control everything that's in his brain. His brain is trying to convey something, is his story, his thought process, but it's picking out these pronouns. And pronouns are one of those things that they take absolutely no thought for us to use, because we've been using them since we were old enough to talk. They are some of the first words that we ever say is a pronoun. And we use emotion before we can even talk, that I want, mine, things like that. And so the pronouns are the slipperiest things. And we call them invisible words sometimes, because they take no thought process. They take no thought process, Chris. And as a result, his brain reached into his vocabulary and it picked out the appropriate word without any thought, and it threw it out.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to the beginning of this and play it again.
Do it
again.
Well, at first I thought, it's got to be some sicko hillbilly druggie, drug her off in the woods or something, or somebody put her in her car and took her. Wow.
There you go.
Good.
You knew?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, I'm starting to hear her, but I don't know if it's because I'm hearing everybody else saying her, but
hell, I heard him say.
Okay, let's just say he said her car, right? Let's just say he said her car. We're gonna put it that way. Let's just say, it's 100% he said her car. Her car doesn't mean that she did it or her mom did it. It could be Dawn did it, or maybe they lent the car to somebody. It doesn't mean that it's her who is driving it. It just means that it was her car that was used for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I could hear you on that one. Because that's wordplay too,
Exactly. So it's
and he does a lot of it
yes, he
allegedly.
does. He does. He does do a lot
Allegedly.
of that. Yeah, he does do a lot of that. A lot.
So
A lot. From the beginning, lot. And he's too TMI to me. I think he says, like, when he talks about something, he always has to dissect it and put extra things in it, like detail in it that doesn't need to be. You know, like you could tell he's lying when he does that. Allegedly, I know you got to say that, but you can tell when he's lying because he says too much. It's like he makes a one sentence into a freaking paragraph because he dissects everything he's saying. He has to make
well, I mean, when you give too many details, that's usually when I know that somebody is lying.
lying, right?
Like
Because
I've used that in my life. Like if they
detail,
giving too many details, they lying.
right? So allegedly, because I know you say gotta say that.
I said in my life. I ain't talking about dying. I'm talking about in my life.
I got you.
That's why you're the best, Steve. So when I get to this highlighted area, are you okay if I bounce past that because she dropped some names and I don't want to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So I'll get to the end and stop again, and then you can educate us a little bit more. Here we go.
We're not too far away or whatever like that, but I'm starting to wonder if it isn't some high-end thing. Maybe somebody's seen her on Facebook, because my wife was always posting stuff on Facebook. It could have been, you know,
Now with that, he putting the blame on Candace to me to say, it could be because my wife posts her on Facebook all the time. She also posts her on TikTok a lot. But and then I mean the part when he was like some hillbilly druggy person, like I would have been bawling thinking like that, man.
Mm-hmm.
That some old druggy nasty hillbilly got your baby,
Yeah.
and you just saying that all cool, like what?
I think the reason why he says it so calmly and without any feeling in it is because he doesn't even believe it. He doesn't believe it. He knows something else happened. That's why. Because if you're telling somebody something and you know in your heart that this is what happened, you're gonna have feelings behind it. You're gonna either be crying, you're gonna hear the sadness in their voice. He's talking like like he's having a natural conversation with someone. There's nothing different about his conversation. There's no feeling in it. So it sounds like it's something he knew something in whatever it was that happened, he knows about it. And it has nothing to do with what he's trying to get everybody else to believe, which is that she got snatched up by somebody else. That's what
I
happened.
mean, like no emotion. Like
At all.
you just. I mean, she's 5 years old, and you don't know where she is, and
Your
you're just
daughter, your daughter from the day she
your
was born.
baby, your only
Yes.
girl that's at the house. I don't know if he got older daughters or whatever, but
Yeah.
he's just able to accept her demise too quick.
Yeah.
Like even in his first freaking interview. And like I said, when my cousin was murdered, I didn't want to accept that.
Yeah.
I didn't see her laying in a casket because it was a closed casket. But I knew she was gone.
Mm-hmm.
And the person that made my shirt had to make my shirt over, which was it actually my co-host Jay Lee on Sundays. He
Mm-hmm.
made my t-shirt, everybody's. And he put RIP on my shirt. And I didn't ask him to put that on there, but I had a fit.
Oh,
I
wow.
had a fit. He
Because you
had to
didn't want
make
to
my shirt over.
yeah,
Huh?
you didn't want it. You didn't want to believe it. That's why.
Yeah, I didn't want RIP. That
Right.
represent death. That represent Halloween to me. It just don't feel good. It don't. I didn't want to. I didn't want to accept that she was gone.
Right.
I lost 30 pounds in a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
I cried for a whole freaking year. This is my cousin, y'all,
Yeah. Yeah.
not my child.
Exactly.
Okay, and this man accepted it like that.
Yeah, and they kept talking in the past tense. He and his wife were saying it in past tense. Candace was talking past tense. He was talking past tense. When she used to, all that stuff was past tense. You should be saying, I remember when she did this, but not like the way they're making it seem like, oh, she used to do that. That's what it used to be like. No, don't say it like that because that makes you make it more. It makes you more, guilty. Because who would say things in the past and it just happened? It wasn't even that long ago after when they did that interview. And they already started talking in past tense. And then he kept saying, oh, yeah, let me fix this because everybody's getting at me because I'm saying something in past tense. Well, you are saying in past tense. Everybody's getting you because it's true what you're doing. We hear you saying things in past tense. And they kept saying a lot of her instead of saying Summer, her name. They kept saying her, her, her. They rarely said Summer. She used to like this. Wait a minute. I thought she was your daughter and her name is Summer. Name her. Call her name.
Right. I mean, she would have been not even her name. She would have been my baby. You know what I'm saying? Like my baby.
Exactly. Like
Come
they
on, man. Like I know everybody handles stuff differently, but red flags for me. I'm gonna go ahead and let this finish if you can
definitely
hit
red
me.
flags.
She could be anywhere. My mind just goes back and forth. I don't have any idea. But I figured, and that guy at Flacco, he was so damn high on something. It was unbelievable. I don't know. I've never seen him like him. Was he on?
Okay, so anything else on that one paragraph, Steve?
No, this the only thing is there that he gives us a reason. So he gives us another thought that this might be some high end thing, and I'm so funny. I said no, and now here I have this big explanation of what I do have a thought. What he's doing is he's introducing that there's a possibility that Summer was sold, and wow, Chris, this is disturbing. Here's the other thing too, is as I'm looking at this and piecing it together, he's casting the onus of this on his wife posting on Facebook. And now the Facebook posting is kind of the side note, but the onus he's putting on Candace, his Summer's mom. And that came in almost the same thought process as him letting that pronoun her slip out, that Summer was in her car, somebody put her in her car and took her not too far away. By the way, not too far away, that is a direct contradiction of what he's been saying before, because he's been saying that she's way down the road, she's way far away, she's beyond reach, she's gone, and now he's saying that.
Had you been hearing that too, you knew that she was way far away.
Yes. That she's
Yeah.
not in the woods, that she's she's not anywhere around there, she's far away.
But now he's minimizing it.
Right.
When he said her or whatever whatever we heard. Okay.
This context that this female put her in her car and took her not too far away. Kristen, we have a problem here. He's contradicting himself. He doesn't even know it. And now
talking too much.
He's introducing this another process totally different that she could have been sold. And I say totally different, but it could go right along with it that if she was.
Did you hear that she could have been sold? Yeah, I didn't quite hear that part.
Yeah, I heard that. They said human trafficked, sold, all that. Yes.
Oh, did Don said that?
Yeah.
Oh.
On his Facebook.
Told that this was maybe done at a location that wasn't too far away. But it's a sick thought. He introduced it. I'm just calling it out. But I don't like it.
I don't either. I don't like that one either. Let's put that one on the board for sure.
Yeah.
And I love this answer. Where my question is, was it meth? And he answers, I've seen people on this before. Yeah. Okay. Well, we know why. So he's just kind of dodging it, right? So here I go. Tell me when.
Okay.
Seen people on I've seen people on this before, and this was beyond that. He was, I mean, I don't know. He showed up one day, and he was running late, and he says, "Oh man, I've been out helping my."
Yeah, we lost cell coverage there, so it comes back.
Hello. And he was running late, and he says, "Oh man, I've been out helping my uncle clear land somewhere, blah blah blah." And this is a man that I could let him in my business and give him 50%, and all he had to do was show up. And he's already giving me excuses, but whatever he was on, it was bad because, he wouldn't listen to anything I said. I mean, it's hard to explain, but he was just fighting me every inch of the way on everything. And I give in and would let him do, okay, you want to do that, fine, but he thought that there was some kind of dirt in his mud, and he wanted me to throw it away and get him some new stuff, and it blew up. And he's like, "Man, you should put it back in there or what?" And just like yelling at me. And then later that day, he's like, "Just go home." He was throwing mud all over the floor, a brand new house, throwing mud all over the floor, and it took him 2 hours to do a 20-minute thing, and he was just so hyper focused on it. That's a word I picked up off of YouTube about mess, but hyper focused.
TMI. That's a lot of information.
He was absolutely hyper focused on this one little thing that took him 2 hours, and he just couldn't get it right. He was frustrated and just going on, and finally he says, "Why don't you just go home? I can handle this house. I just hired this guy like 2 weeks ago." Right. I've been with Tucker Double.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Now, what I wondered is at what point did he mention this guy in the beginning? Because, well, I wasn't following it super close, but I didn't know when he said this guy that he had fired, like the day before Summer went missing.
So that's the new information now that he's talking about that. He didn't say anything about firing anybody at the beginning. But he did, I did mention that a while ago on my live. I said something about, remember when I said he was working with someone and that person possibly might have been the one that got him? Now all of a sudden he's saying it. That's crazy.
I mean, but that's something that I would have been trying to think of every possible person that may have had an issue with me. And the person that I fired the day before would have been the first person I mentioned.
Exactly, right? Instead of saying he was that she was kidnapped by or she was snatched up. Now that's another thing. That's what we were talking about earlier on in the chat. They were saying, "Oh, she disappeared basically because remember they said that she couldn't open that door. It was too much for her to be able to open that door. Like there was that lock."
I heard Don say she could probably open the door.
Oh, because she can hold on to that swing. Remember, he said something about she's able to like pull herself up on the swing or something like that. That's what they were talking about. But Candace also made it known that when she opened that door on her interview, is that she had to kind of like fight to get to open the door. It was almost like the lock was old and like it was worn out, I guess you could say, and it had like a nut, and like she had to nudge it a little bit. So. And that little girl was able to open that. I don't know. She looked like she had trouble with it. So how did the baby know how to open it before she could? You know what I'm saying? That's what I remember watching on that interview is that she had to nudge at the lock to open it. But they said the door was locked. Then they said it was unlocked. They contradict themselves. We don't know if it was open or closed. We don't know if Summer got out and she got snatched. Was somebody in the house already that snatched her up and took off with her? We don't even know any of this stuff because a lot of times.
So you were saying that he knew that this didn't happen, and that's why he was so blasé about it. So what do you believe happened?
Okay, so on my live, remember I spoke about this. I said I think this is what I think. If this is true about how they're so adamant about her being snatched up, I don't think that's true, but I'm just saying if they're so adamant about her being snatched up, it was a setup. It was a setup. That's all I can tell you is it was a setup because the reason why I say that allegedly is a setup. I'm just gonna say because I know you'd like to say that. And anyway, that part was like where they kept saying that she was snatched up. Okay, so how about the person they know? Because remember how they said that Hunter had a certain amount of time to get back home because he had to meet up with his girlfriend or something, or he had to go to his girlfriend's, or his girlfriend was coming, whichever one they said. Because that story also changed twice. It was like either he went to her house and then they said he went to her house. I'm not sure. Regardless of which one they did, but basically, hold on one second. Sorry about that. So basically, I'm thinking when they said they had the time set up to go and take Hunter by a certain time, they told whoever that person was, they either left a key. See, now in the country, you can leave a key under your little mat or under a rock and let somebody know, hey, this is where I keep my key. Get the key. You could go in and put the key back and then you leave or whatever. Or maybe they made an extra key for that person. I don't know. All I know is that I feel if that's true that she got snatched up, that little girl did not get snatched up outside the house. I think she would have gotten snatched up from inside the house because that either that or that person was lying away and she was already getting out because it was unlocked and they got her when she got out the door and they took off with her. Whichever one, because if it was inside the house, they were already in that house waiting for her to come down from upstairs into the basement and then took off with her. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Well, I'm kind of shocked with your answer because I thought you was going with she was already gone in the car when she was laying on the milk. Because you
Right.
kept talking about her discoloration.
Right. I'm saying this is what I'm saying. As far as because they're so adamant about her being snatched up, that's my scenario on that. But as far as what I see in the car, she looks to be either gone or going. In the car, in the back of the grandma's truck, she looks like she's either gone or going, like she's about to be gone, deceased. But like I said, because of their scenario, okay, let's just say they say she got snatched up. That's only two scenarios I could think of. Either she walked out and got snatched up by somebody lying waiting and they knew exactly who they sent for her to get her. And they did the same thing from inside the house. They let them in, they were able to get in that house, snatch her up, and get out. That's what I think. If the scenario is correct on if she was actually alive.
And I still can't get past two missing people in the same family. I just
Yeah,
can't get past that.
exactly. That's why.
Okay, I'm gonna let this finish playing.
Okay, babe.
So he's going to go on and on and on about this guy, and we're gonna eat up a bunch of time about him telling you about this guy. But let's just talk about a little bit what he's told us. I've heard more about this guy's behavior at work and him, like you said, Chris. He knows what meth looks like. He knows what different types of drugs look like, and what it's like to be on those drugs. And he's saying that this was beyond anything he's ever seen, and he's giving a lot of detail about. And in fact, he used the word hyper-focused. I love that he said that's a word I picked up off of YouTube. So he Googled it. It sounds like, and he was researching, people that are on different types of drugs or meth, or so somehow he learned this word hyper-focused, and so he's trying to he learned that to describe how this guy was, and he's so hyper-focused and high on meth, and it's the problem I have here, and I want to get your thought on this, but the problem I have here is that, to me, this is a sales pitch. He's selling how high this guy was so that we will believe what he's going to tell us. And he's really giving us all this unnecessary detail. He's really slowing things down here by describing, he's devoting all this energy, this mental energy to this guy and how high he was. And this is going to come into the story of an abduction and casting blame on this guy that was high and that ended up getting fired, that he fired the day before someone went missing. And all that's coming up. But he's really laying foundation for that story. And Chris
Yeah,
is just,
but then he qualifies it, right? He qualifies it with, well, he has alibis. Meaning TBI and the FBI told him, hey, we've already flipped this guy around 4 or 5 times, and sorry, we're not buying it. If whatever's for sale, it's we're telling you. And they tell Don, and Don says it. He says it. He says, well, the guy's got alibis.
yeah.
Okay, so he tells his detectives, by the way, who are not private detectives, by the way. They are an organization that basically a support organization. They're not even PIs. Nobody's licensed. Nobody has any experience other than they're good people with a good heart looking to help families and friends. And that's these detectives that he keeps referring to here. Okay, and they're probably great people. The problem that I have to be honest
Yet
with
another lie.
and mention is, you and I both know that we know these guys' backgrounds, and he had, he's been. I mean, he tells you years ago, he went to Mexico running coke. He's been doing meth for many years. He went to prison. Okay, he's been on really hardcore drugs, and people are looking at his legs and saying, look at all these marks and stuff. Well, those are track marks, folks. Okay? Those are tracks. Okay, and you can shoot, you can shoot all kinds of drugs into that, anywhere from cocaine to heroin to meth, you name it. You cook it up, put it in an injection, find your favorite bottle cap, throw it over a little flame, and fire away, tie off, and go. Okay, so I saw that stuff right away and said, well, that's interesting. And then we started talking about crocodile, and the way he was describing this guy. I asked him, I said, you ever heard of this crocodile stuff? And he was like, I kind of heard of it, but not really. Okay, well, come on, everybody knows. If you're out on the street and you're streetwise, you know what time it is. It's that simple. So, well, I think this is a good place to stop, Steve, and take a couple of questions, and then we can, revisit this on the next one too, because I promised you I would only keep you here an hour and a half tonight. So without asking.
Wow, so that was a whole lot. I've never heard of crocodile, but I did see those pictures of his legs, and they looked disgusting. And it was people on there trying to say that it was insect bites for being in the woods. Now he just said they was track marks. I didn't even know that. I thought, I know people that's on meth, and I don't know if he's on meth or not, but I know people that is on meth, they pick their skin. How you doing, Minnie?
Yeah, they do.
And so that's what I was thinking. I wasn't even thinking shooting up, but he did have a real big vein on one of his legs or something real bad on his leg. So what did you think about that part?
I believe it. Let me tell you what I'm reading right here, and it says in 2018, Tennessee providers wrote 81.8. What's it called? Opioid. Excuse me. Prescriptions for every 100 person. So like out of 100 people, 81 of them got the drug.
Yeah, that was back in the day. They was handing that stuff out like Halloween candy.
Yeah, like come on, that's crazy. So I believe that they're on something. You can tell they're on something, both of them.
Absolutely, but I mean, even for him to say he was on more than meth, way worse. I've never seen it. Like I've never seen nobody going off of meth. I have seen it. I have seen like people going off of something on YouTube,
but he knows because he lives around those type of people. So he's minimizing meth. To me, excuse me, meth is the worst of the worst.
Mm-hmm. It
But
is.
he's trying to minimize it. What's worse than meth?
Let me find out. I'm gonna get back to you. Hold on one second.
I'm trying to figure that out. What's worse than meth? I don't even know what's in meth. I've never researched it to see. I'm thinking maybe it's a combination of drugs. I don't know. I mean, I know I could look it up, but I've never looked it up. So I know weed ain't worse than meth. Maybe heroin is up there with it, but I don't know. But he trying to minimize meth. Like what? To me, that's a red flag.
Theories to the case or anything like that. Let's take some questions. And I know, right? Don't stop. I'm sorry, Cassandra. So let me go over here for a minute, and let me pull this out for a second. By the way, we're going to keep moving on this, but unfortunately, Steve and I, we made an agreement that I would not keep him here for a month and a half. Okay? Like we did 3 hours, I think, the last time you were here. So
Yeah,
I think, are you good for Tuesday? You think Tuesday would work for you?
I think Tuesday works. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to revisit this again on Tuesday. So let's go up here. Here's a question: what is crocodile? So crocodile is a synthetic drug that you can't feel any pain. It's consistent with PCP around that family, but it's not phencyclidine. Phencyclidine is an animal tranquilizer. Okay, and crocodile is kind of synthetic to that, and these guys feel no pain, no nothing. I mean, it's amazing, crazy drugs. And here's one right here. It says, been in the streets for a long time, never seen crocodile. I'm in Atlanta. Go to Florida. Go to Florida.
Okay, so that's what crocodile is. Wow.
Crocodile number one.
Synthetic.
Crocodile's
Hold on.
dangerous.
What'd you say?
Crocodile is number one on the dangerous.
Really? And I would think so. Would have been synthetic. That ain't good. That what is it? Wait, 2K or Y2K weed or something? I might be thinking about the game too, but it is 2K weed. I think that was synthetic, and that was making people hallucinate, go crazy, and do all kind of stuff. So synthetic is worse.
Yeah, that's like that bath salt. That's synthetic as well. And crystal meth is.
Hey, crocodile's doing the same stuff.
Crystal meth is number 6.
So you said crocodile is number 1? Where do meth rank?
Number 6.
Okay, so read all of them from 6 to, all the way to 6.
Okay. Number 1, crocodile is number 1.
Wow, I've never heard of that till now.
Shunaga is
never heard of that.
Wushnaga. What is this? Woonga. Okay, so it's WHOONGA. Woonga. Woonga.
Wow.
I'll keep bumping. Lola, shush. Bath salt is number 3. Flocka is 4. Number 5 is AH7921. That's synthetic opioid. Whatever the heck that is. I hate drugs. I can't even say that. Number 6 is crystal meth. Number 7 is crack cocaine. Number 8 is heroin. Number 9 is scopolamine. And number 10 is purple drink.
Dang, I ain't never heard of most of those. But damn, you said bath salt was number 3.
Yes.
Number 1 is crocodile and meth is 6. Like, oh my God, what the hell? Like, He said you literally feel no pain on crocodile. So they like superheroes for real on that.
Exactly.
Damn. Those some hard drugs, man.
Yeah.
I thought I had some street smart in me, but I ain't never heard of none of that.
Exactly. I mean, I've heard of a couple of them, like meth. I've heard of meth, but I don't know anything about how you make it or none of that stuff. But like,
I mean,
heard of
meth,
that,
crack, bath salt.
heroin.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say about bath salt. I remember hearing for the first time about bath salt. It was a guy in Miami that was like biting people's ears
Yes,
off and stuff.
they become cannibals from it.
Crazy.
Yes.
And that's number 3. What the
Yes.
hell do they do on crocodile?
Let me tell you what they do.
Some of the salts in the bath that you.
No, not that's different. Everybody mixes that with that, but it's not. It's synthetic. My son's asking me about taking baths in it. Hold on. Okay. Crocodile, whatever. Anyway, it's a Russian secret addiction. It is believed that over 1 million Russians are addicted to the drug. Users of crocodile, whatever, are attracted to the drug due to its low price. It's sold at $20. Well, I don't know if that's considered $20, but it's got a weird letter in front of it, but it's not a dollar sign. But it says 20 a gram, while heroin is sold at 60. However, crocodile is considered more dangerous than heroin because it's often homemade with ingredients including painkiller, iodine, lighter fluid, and industrial cleaning agents. This chemical makes
Lighter fluid, dude.
yes, makes it highly dangerous and likely to cause gangrene and eventually rotting out the flesh. That's what it says. That's disgusting, but okay. If y'all want to
Damn.
kill your flesh out, I guess. That's
Who needs that?
exactly.
What the man?
That means
I'm
it's
gonna let
eating
this
them
finish
inside
out.
out. That means that's eating them inside out to have that gangrene. That's inside out. That's gross.
And a lot of these drugs have embalming fluid.
Yeah, embalming fluid. Yes. Yep. That's
Ain't
disgusting.
it terrible, Minnie? That's crazy. Okay, I'm gonna let this finish.
There you go. That's for you, buddy.
Thank you, Barbie. Appreciate it.
Here's a good one. Greg, thank you. It's huge in Europe. It's gasoline mixed ether, codeine, and other stuff. Thank you, Greg.
They talking about
We
crocodile.
appreciate that. See, it's working its way.
That's crazy.
Around, it's crazy. It makes people like zombies. I mean, literally.
Walking
There you
Dead.
go, right there. Janet just said the thing, same thing. Thank you. Okay. Is this the end of the subject? So, let's see here. Dre Latrina, yeah. So let's see here. I have patients who have shot heroin every darn location in their body, wrists, hands, ankles, feet, neck. Yeah, Dr. Latrina, thank you so much. Latina. Yeah, somebody's got other channels up here. Not interested, but we appreciate it. Let's see here. There's more. Here's a question for you, Steve. 74 deeds. With the contradictions, lies, and Freudian slips, do you think we'll ever find the truth?
You know, I do. I think, you know, the truth usually comes out one way or the other. It usually manifests. And, you know, sometimes it just takes time. And, you know, some of the other cases that are being worked right now, you know, I've seen comments and I've received emails from people asking about the time frame and why an arrest hasn't been made. And, you know, I'm really good with an arrest not being made right away because that means that they're taking their time to do all the forensics and get all the cell records and work all the leads and work all the angles that might be used for a defense, and if they have the right suspect, and there's a lot to do. I mean, there's just a lot to do, and so the truth will come out. It just takes a while, and Chris and I are trying to help that investigation along. There's little things in the language, like Don's little Freudian slip, that maybe they missed. A lot of people miss those types of things, and so I'm hoping that those things can help move the case along. But I think it'll come out.
This one's for me. Chris, you're really wrong. Okay. The next one is Andrea, and thank you for your question here. She goes, how long would it take for the cell phone records to come back? Typically 30 to 60 days, depending on the caseload at the agency they were submitted to. This one here's, got it? Okay, here's Jan on the Lam. Great seeing you, man. No question would have Steve gives me hope. Thank you. Yeah, he gives me hope too. He always does. Grateful for that. And I'm going to leave I Am Veritas up for everybody. There's 15,000 people in the chat here, so everybody
15K.
That one right there.
Damn.
There you go. Okay. Retired RN. Thank you for everything you do. Teaching education we're receiving. You're very kind and you're very welcome. I love this guy, but as you can tell, he just nailed something that, I've been listening to this thing for a week or two, or whatever it is, a week. And he just nailed something.
And that's the thing that get me too. He did a transcript on it. So I wonder, what did he write on that part? When he said her car, you know what I'm saying? What did Chris write?
I don't know.
Because if you're writing something, you're really listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really curious to know that. But anyway.
You know that Wunga? That's used for HIV. Highly used.
What?
It's used for HIV. That Wunga that I told you, number 2.
Really?
Most dangerous drug, right? It's made from cutting agents such as detergent and poisons, and the drug is widely available in South Africa due to South Africa's high rate in HIV sufferers. That's what they use that for, the majority. But other people use it as, I guess, drug, but that's actually supposed to be used for HIV patients.
So is it used for pain?
It's not saying it's for pain, but most of the drugs they use it because of pain. Like either they have pain or they just, they're addicted.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep, that's what
okay. I'm up.
All right.
Dennis Spaulding, thank you so much for your kindness. Let's see here.
Hey, Chris, if you're really wrong, I don't want to be right. You're right.
Yeah, ask everybody in prison that I've ever put in prison. And I have people on death row who always said I was wrong. Okay.
Wow.
Good for you. I always, quite frankly, we're so used to that, Steve, right? We've been in this industry, 40 years now, and it's like, okay, these are the same people on the street. They go, well, that's not my dough. Oh, really? How did it get in your pocket? How did it get in your pocket? Well,
those are my pants.
Yeah, you put it in your pocket, right? And here's a quick question for you. How many beers have you had tonight? What's the answer, Steve?
2.
Or hey, can I talk to you? Who, me? No, the guy standing next to you at 3 o'clock.
As he's getting ready to run, as he's turning and walking, who, me?
Yeah, you. Let's talk. So I appreciate it. Thank you. Keep it coming.
Hey, Chris, there was this little anecdote. On my website, I have some blog articles, and one has to do with the Lori Vallow case. And she wrote an email to JJ's school, withdrawing him from school. And so I just broke down the email. This is way before her marriage to Chad, and I don't know, maybe she was married to him by then. I don't remember. But anyway, before the kids were found deceased, and I just broke down the email, and it showed that there were some issues with it, and you can get on my website and go to the blog articles and read that. But I posted it on social media, and there was an attorney that turns out had some association with the Valos, and he posted that I didn't know what I was talking about, and I just laughed because I was just calling out the truth, and it's not my. I mean, it is my opinion, but it's based on forensic, science. It's just following the principles. And if you just follow the principles, it always leads you to the truth. And look what's happened. And now look where Lori's at. So I'm telling you, it always works out. It always comes out. Just tether yourself to the principles, to the rules, and it always works out. And that's all we're trying to teach investigators is to tether yourself to the principles. And I'm telling you, it'll give you just a whole new world, a plethora of information.
Yeah, and they're going to do chat on the death penalty. That's a whole new day, right? I mean, we talked about that how many times? He has no idea what's coming. He has no idea what's coming.
Yeah.
Keep them coming, guys. And by the way, I want to reiterate to everybody, if you're new to my channel, I have something just for you if you're trolls. It's my Discord channel. I actually have a room over there that you can go over there and, just throw it everywhere you want. Okay, I'm good with that because it gives you a place to vent. Okay? And also I keep people saying, well, how come you turn off your discount, your comments? Because I don't think it's fair to Summer. That you get an opportunity as a sociopath to sit behind your keyboard and blast away at a 5-year-old little girl who's missing. That's why I've set up your own channel. So please go over there. It's called Trolls. You can't miss it. And have a good time. Okay? Seriously, I think that's wonderful. Blair, this is great. So you're confused, misinformed about crocodile. Crocodile would be desmorphine, which people in Russia started to attempt to make with codeine. Toxic chemicals sightings in the U.S. are rare but unverified. Okay? Well, we appreciate that insight for sure. Let's see here. No need to bash other channels. That's correct. We're not going to do that. Thank you. And mods, if you can kind of take a look at some of these folks who are just firing away. That's okay that they do, because that's the other reason I turn off the replay chat. So you just kind of go become anonymous, as that guy says, right? Just go away. Have a good day. Yeah, you can have your 5 minutes here, and at the end of it, you just go away. But you're welcome to go to my
trolls don't discriminate. He's a cop. Once a cop, always a cop, and they harassing him.
Did I notice anything about the flower pots while they were there? The day after Summer came up missing, they posted pictures of flower pots. They did day before with weeds almost a foot tall. Yeah, there were little rocks and stuff in them, and I think Candace, in my opinion, described pretty clearly that they had cleaned out all the weeds and stuff, and they were putting rocks in there, and that was kind of grandma's situation that they wanted to do. So right here, thank you, Mr. J, as a psychology grad student. I really appreciate the education that you two displayed. Thank you. Well, we appreciate that very much. We appreciate that. And we don't have a dog in this game. I mean, we are literally taking our time here tonight for Summer and kind of figure out, okay, what is the relevance here? Is any of this even relevant? Right? And like we said in the beginning, guilt or innocent it's not our responsibility, and nor will it ever be.
It'll be 2 months she's been missing on the 15th of August.
Let them decide. Let's see here.
That's crazy.
Not good.
Right, so, Scott. Okay, so let's do this. Let's regroup on Tuesday, Steve. If you're still good with that.
So I'm gonna have to check him out on Tuesday. I'm gonna pull up those pictures of Don, because I actually have pictures where he was
talking about his legs. I have pictures of that. I'm gonna go to
I'll give you a video if you're okay with that. It's about fentanyl and what happened to a cop that got it, ended up getting it in his system by just opening a trunk.
Okay, you got it put up?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
What you're about to see is dramatic body-worn camera footage involving one of our deputies who was exposed to fentanyl during his patrol shift.
You're okay. Don't be sorry. There's nothing to be sorry about. I got you, okay? I'm not gonna let you die. I'm not gonna let you die. It's okay. Just focus on your breathing, okay? Focus on it. I need Narcan. I'm Corporal Scott Crane from the San Diego County Sheriff's Department. My trainee was exposed to fentanyl and nearly died. It was our first radio call of the day, and this was Deputy Five Eyes' radio call. He found a white substance that he suspected was drugs.
Yeah, it's a powder.
Could be cocaine or fentanyl. It tested positive for fentanyl. That stuff's no joke, dude. It's super dangerous. I was like, hey, dude, too close. You can't get that close to it. A couple seconds later, he took some steps back and he collapsed. I ran over to him and I grabbed him, and he was ODing. And I went to my trunk, grabbed the Narcan, came down to him, grabbed him, and I did one nasal spray in one nostril, opened the other one, another nasal spray in the other one.
I remember just not feeling right, and then I fall back, and I don't remember anything after that.
Just breathe, buddy. Trying to get him to focus on just breathing, and because that fentanyl, you can't breathe.
It was in an instant. It's as though my lungs just locked up. I couldn't breathe. I was trying to gasp for breath, but I couldn't breathe at all.
Five, are you okay? Talk to me. Oh, no. Don't be sorry. You're okay. Don't be sorry. There's nothing to be sorry about. I got you, okay? I'm not gonna let you die. I'm not gonna let you die. I need Narcan. I got you. I'm trying to not let him go. I wanted him to know he wasn't alone. It's an invisible killer. He would have died in that parking lot if he was alone. Fire department got there, put him on the gurney. His eyes rolled back in his head, and he started to OD again. And he was ODing the whole way to the hospital.
I don't think people realize the severity of just how deadly it really is. I'm Deputy David Five Eye, and I almost died of fentanyl overdose.
One of the greatest threats we currently face is the synthetic opioid fentanyl, which is 50 times more potent than heroin. Fentanyl overdoses are on the rise throughout our county. Every day, deputies recover fentanyl in our communities. And the county jails are not immune either to the dangers of this drug. Every week, sheriff's deputies intercept fentanyl entering our facilities. When inmates overdose on fentanyl, smuggled into our jails, deputies and nurses are saving dozens of lives every month by administering naloxone, a medicine used to rapidly reverse the effects of the overdose. Fentanyl deaths in California have increased almost 46% in just the last year. Being exposed to just a few small grains of fentanyl could have deadly consequences. The dangers of fentanyl are real, and this drug is killing our communities. Please take the time to share this video. It might save the life of your son, daughter, friend, or a loved one.
Wow, I mean, damn. What crossed my mind?
You've never seen that video before?
No. And what crossed my mind was this little girl who died from fentanyl overdose. It was put in her bottle or something like that. So he just had an overdose just from smelling it?
Just from getting close to it, yes. It went into his system like just that quick. And
wow.
Overdose. He could have actually died from it, but the guy acted so quickly that he was able to get him. before he can actually overdose and die from it. It's very deadly. And they use that.
I had no idea it was like that.
Yeah, they use fentanyl for pain, but this was being used as an actual drug. It's easy to die from it.
Man, that stuff is deadly. I had no idea.
Yes, it is.
So these are the pictures I put up. This is Candace. This is the mother of Summer Wells.
Mm-hmm.
This is Don, the father that's doing all the talking.
Mm-hmm.
These are his legs.
Ooh, Lord have mercy.
Wait, let me show you. This is him during prayer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That looks horrible. Looks like his veins about to bust out his leg. That's disgusting.
And I didn't even think about no dang on needle marks. That's what Chris just said. He was like, that's from shooting up. Yeah, I didn't know that. I mean, I didn't know what it was. Like I said, I thought meth or something. And then other people, like I said, it's some people defending him right now because they feel like Chris is wrong for putting this information out. They feel like if he's acting as a law enforcement, that he shouldn't be putting all this information out for everybody.
Yeah, but he's no longer in law enforcement. He's retired, so he's doing
well,
it for any other YouTuber right now.
Well, I know once law enforcement, always law enforcement, and he is turning over all of this information to law enforcement.
Right.
And he does still work for the cold case unit. I think I heard him say that.
Oh,
he's retired, but he still work with them. Like,
oh, I didn't know that.
I have someone in my family that's retired, but they still a cop. Like, once a cop, always a cop. They can always take jobs independent because of their experience. They still do things with the police. They are still cops.
No matter what, huh?
Period. No matter what. Once a cop, always a cop. Believe that. I mean, and then he's not saying how he feel about it, but his opinions on things is telling me how he feel about it.
Yeah, you know, when I saw that, I said, are those pants he's wearing, or, you know, like when your pants are wrinkled looking, but those are actually shorts. That's gross.
Yeah, so.
Another thing, do you have the visual, the video of the visual, how far he was standing away from his wife?
No.
Girl, like, he's supposed to be there for your wife. You over there about 4 or 5 people away from you, from your wife. I mean, like, she's standing in one spot and he's standing about 4 people away from her. And then even the lady on the video, I think you did the video, right, where she said, she kept repeating, or was that somebody else? Because I know I did the video where the woman said, oh, thanks to Don for coming. Like, basically, he doesn't come, so now all of a sudden you're coming. That's basically what she was saying.
No, I don't believe I posted it, but I'm gonna go to one of my videos about Summer.
Okay.
And for the people that might not know, just see what I have in here, and I'm gonna go to a commercial.
For great products and prices under $25, shop Quiche All Day Boutique at www.quichealldaycraftsboutiques.com. I am Miss V, crime reporter, website promoter. If you are interested in showcasing your website, hit me up in my DM on IG and we can discuss all the details of showcasing your business, doing a commercial, and running it on my show for a couple of months, as well as promoting you on other social media sites. If this sounds like something that you would be interested in, DM me right now and type in the comments, I am interested. And let's talk. Let's talk about your business. Let's showcase your business. The votes are in. Join us for our Viral Creator Support Team meeting Sunday, August 8th, 2021 at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time via Zoom. You must be subscribed to me and you also must connect with me via IG for the Zoom link. You want to be in the building. You do not want to miss this. At the end, everyone will drop their link and subscribe to everyone.
All right, guys, we are back. So I found a video I want to play. This is one of my most popular videos that I posted a summer about a month ago. And it reads, Summer Wells babysitter speaks out, vanish. And I later found out that the babysitter was at the time Candace's best friend, Allison. But they fell out, obviously, after all this.
Summer on outings to the park, etc. Such an outgoing personality and full of love and life, or life and love. I've taken her out about 4 times. The last 2 times she cried and begged to stay with me. Candace asked me to watch her the day that she went missing, but I couldn't, as I had a doctor's appointment. I am blaming myself. I haven't been sleeping. By the way, I have bought Summer clothes, shoes, and 2 toys for Christmas. The nice shoes that you saw in the coffin picture is the one I bought her. To my knowledge, she only put her in those shoes when they went on vacation and a few other times.
It ain't really nothing to see.
She had on shoes that were made for like a 12-year-old. Candace, trying to mention what she liked during the interview, but missed a lot of things she liked. She liked Barbies, unicorns, Lion King toys, and Grow toys, but the Lion King toys were her favorite. She cried when they cut her hair. Her mother said because it wasn't hard to care for. I didn't ask Candace, just Summer. They have cut her hair. And it appears that there is some things cut off here that I'm not able to read. But this is the picture and the shoes that she's referring to. There's a lot wrong with this picture. Very disturbing. Starting with her face. We already know her hair is good, but her face is unhappy. The position that she's standing in. The placement of her hands. Her frail body. And clothes that don't fit her. pajama pants worn with a sequence top that appears to be dingy and dirty. This baby is not happy, and these pictures are very disturbing. What the lady said was very disturbing, enough that this family should be locked up, the parents, until they figure out what happened or something. I don't understand how two people can come up missing in the same family. Rose Block, Candace's sister, missing without a trace and never found years ago. I did a video on it. I can't remember what year she went missing, but she's never been found. And according to reports, I was actually watching Candace's children at the time. Be right back, y'all. Dang it. But this is very disturbing. The lady recounts of her time with Summer and the things that she said there. I'm wondering, have she been brought in for questioning? Because this is a problem. This baby has been gone for weeks at this point. And still, they're no closer today than they were yesterday, than they were weeks ago. Let me know what you think about this in the comments section. Yep. We've been at this for 3 hours. What's up, you new?
Nothing. I was just looking at that video of how far he was from Candace. Like, literally, they're not even together. They look like they're mad at each other. Something's going on with them, too.
Got it put up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see it.
Something. Want to show it? Okay. Look where she's at. She's right there, right? Now watch where he's at.
The day of judgment, when you stand way over there in that wine. None of these people that are saying whatever they're saying are going to be standing there holding your hand saying, no, it wasn't him, it was me. It's not going to happen like that. So don't, and I know it's easier said than done because it hurts. But just remember, the only one that you need to please is Jesus. The only one that you have to answer to is Jesus. And like I said, it's easier said than done. Because the closer you get to God, the more the devil's going to try to attack you. But I just have to lay and just tell you, just keep the faith, keep praying, keep going forward. And every time something upsets you, with whether it has to do with someone or anything in your life, hold on a minute. I belong to God, and just say, Lord, help me, devil, get behind me. Let's become everything.
She gets me with that. She's like, wait a minute. She keeps tapping on him like, devil, get behind me. He ain't listening. He's just like, yeah, right. She's like, devil, get behind me. Right.
So I think those are the pictures that I just showed, right?
Yeah, that's part of it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when his leg was looking crazy. But you know what? Is that like a picture that you saw? Like you got it off of where'd you get it? Like off of does it look like it might have been edited? Because his leg didn't look as bad as that picture on the video I just showed.
Some of the pictures that I showed, I screenshot myself from a video.
Okay.
So they look that bad. Trust me.
Yeah, that's like bringing them up.
I didn't. Some of them I mean, they like zoomed in and it looked like it might be, you know what I'm saying? But nah.
Yeah.
I'ma show it again. Now you can tell this is just a regular picture.
Yeah. God, that looks horrible. I swear I thought
But
those were pants. They look like wrinkled pants. That's
but
how
you can tell this is like they might have added some, you know what I'm saying? They
extra
brightened it up,
dots.
but
Yeah.
it still ain't no more dots on his you know, that's how his legs look.
Hmm.
This look like it's no enhancement on it. They still look, you know,
That looks so
bad.
disgusting. It looks like
So
something's
yeah.
about to start walking out his, like crawling out his legs. It's gross. Oh my God. Have you seen the show Animals in Me or With Me or In Me or something like that? And they go to the doctor and they pull out things out of their bodies. Like, oh my God, it's so gross. That's the same thing. It's gross.
No, I don't watch TV.
Yeah. It's been a
As
minute
a
since
matter of fact, I don't even have a TV. Well, I got one in a box I never opened, but I sold all the TVs I had on the wall because I'm supposed to be moving. So
yeah.
yeah, I don't even watch TV.
Oh, I used to watch that. My husband used to watch it, and I used to sit there and watch with him. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna get sick. It's so disgusting.
So before I end it, I'm gonna play a video.
All right.
The latest video I can find
Okay.
about summer to remind everybody. This was 4 days ago.
Okay.
This is for the dreamers. All the doers and schemers with side hustles.
We are following a breaking news alert tonight. The search continues for a little girl at the center of an Amber Alert. Now, a new plea from investigators. Haley Wilgus at the WKRN.com alert desk. Erica Summer Wells has been missing for more than a month, and investigators want the rumors to stop. Summer Wells is just 5 years old. She went missing in rugged terrain in Hawkins County. There's been no sign of her since her disappearance, and today the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation tweeted that misinformation shared on social media about the case continues to cause problems. They're asking the public to only share information that is from official sources. Summer has been missing since June 15th. You can always get breaking news alerts 24/7 by downloading the WKRN News app. It is free.
They talking to y'all. Hey, Mahogany and Tiana, thank you for coming through. You finally caught me live, Mahogany. Thank you for coming through. And sir, I know I spoke to you. I think you came through earlier and came back. But thank you all for coming through, guys. It's been over 3 hours. I'ma end this. I got a few things I need to get done. You got anything else you knew?
No, I just think they need to come on and tell the truth and let this little girl come home one way or another. If she's deceased, still bring her in. And if she's alive and well, bring her in. Like, let her go. I don't know who's doing this to this child, but they need to just let her go. You know, let it be seen. Let her be seen and found wherever she's supposed to be at. Let somebody know where she's at. If you want
I'm gonna play this last video.
Parents of Summer Wells tells News Channel 11 the state of Tennessee has removed their other children from their custody. It was 6 days ago that the Department of Children's Services first confirmed to News Channel 11 they were involved in the case of the missing girl who has now not been seen for 6 weeks. Ansley Daniels spoke with Candace Bly and Don Wells following a hearing in Hawkins County earlier today. She joins us live from Kingsport with details. Ansley?
Yes, Sarah, both Donald Wells and Candace Bly appeared in juvenile court around 1 p.m. earlier this afternoon in Hawkins County. After that appearance, I spoke with them outside where they both confirmed to me that their children were taken by the Department of Children's Services late last week. After that appearance, Summer's parents were emotional and declined to speak with me on camera. I did ask if they knew why their older children were removed from the home, and Candace told me that she would rather not say and wanted to be clear that Summer's disappearance and DCS's involvement with her other children are separate situations. She also told me that they now have a lawyer but would not share that lawyer's information. Don Wells told me that his older children are safer where they are now, but he did not elaborate or specify how. Due to this case involving minors and per Hawkins County's Justice Center's policy, I was not allowed to be in the courtroom or even take a phone or camera inside the lobby. They both walked into the center just a few minutes before their hearing, and upon On arrival, they were escorted into a different courtroom away from the lobby from where everyone else was sitting. Right at 1 p.m., an officer came to get them to go into the juvenile courtroom. They left the annex separately, but arrived and left together in the same vehicle. Again, due to this situation involving minors, the juvenile court office could not provide any information or paperwork. I also checked with the clerk's office, who is over circuit, sessions, and criminal court, to see if there was any new paperwork filed for either of them, and was told that there was nothing new. But back here at Borden Park in Kingsport, another prayer circle for their daughter will be held in about an hour, which marks the 6th week since she was last seen. Live in Kingsport, Ansley Daniel, News Channel 11.
Ansley, thanks. And the Churchill Rescue Squad announced today it will no longer be the lead agency in the search for Summer Wells, saying the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office is now in charge of future ground searches. Meanwhile, the Amber Alert for Summer Wells issued by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation remains active. TBI says they've received just under 1,070 tips in the case, but have yet to get a solid lead on where Summer might be. If you have information you think could help locate her, contact TBI. If you see her, call 911 immediately.
Wow, that is a lot of leads and nothing, So I pray that Summer is found, man, but it's been too long. It's been too long. Nice to meet you. Also tired, moving, very tired. Get your rest, Miss Alice. Thank you guys. I hope everybody in here has hit the subscribe button and the thumbs up. Share if you like, but please make sure you subscribe. I need more men to subscribe. I have 80% women, 83 and like 17% men. So I need you guys to hit the subscribe button, okay? Don't just watch me. Hit the subscribe button and support. I love my ladies. Don't get me wrong. I love y'all. But we need some men. We need to even this out. 50-50 at least, y'all.
I don't think
so
they
you
want
know
to hop in on here. They're kind of scared to cry.
Who?
Men kind of scared to cry, so they don't want to get on here. They don't want to show their feelings.
I know the ladies love me, but I love y'all too. But I need some men to subscribe. I mean, the men come through, they here, so I don't think they hitting that subscribe button though. And make sure you drop your link to your channel. Everybody, if you guys could support you as well. She is a huge supporter over here. I love her. She's always willing to help me on the panel and jump up and help wherever she can. So if you guys could subscribe to her channel, she's random.
I do my best.
You do a good job, and I appreciate you.
Thank you, sweetie.
So I'm gonna go ahead and end now. I'm gonna play a couple commercials going out, and I'll probably be live again tomorrow or later on this morning.
Okay.
But yeah, I need to chillax for a minute.
Rest. Yeah, get you some rest because you're always on the go.
Always. So until next time, guys.
Okay, sweetie. See you then.
Peace.
Check out Precious Decals for your business card needs. Let her know Miss V of Make This Go Viral, MTGVTV, sent you. Prompt delivery. You will not be disappointed. I am Miss V, crime reporter, website promoter. If you are interested in showcasing your website, hit me up in my DM on IG and we can discuss all the details of showcasing your business, doing a commercial, and running it on my show for a couple of months, as well as promoting you on other social media sites. If this sounds like something that you would be interested in, DM me right now and type in the comments, I am interested. And let's talk. Let's talk about your business. Let's showcase your business.
Bye-bye, guys, and much love. Thank you guys again. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Make this go viral.